All right, everybody. God, these Wednesdays come about real quick, don't they, mate? It's already Wednesday and another episode of Fourever Rivals. How are we, guys?
Mate, how we doing, everyone?
How are we going? I'll start with Liam. How are you, Liam?
Mate, we are doing lovely, mate. Yeah, been a good day. I was busy, just got in on time tonight, but we're ready to rock, mate.
I like it, man. There's going to be heaps to talk about tonight. And on the left-hand side, we've got Marco. And look at him. Is he going to disappear? Is he going to disappear? He's still there. He's still there. Still there. Let's hope he paid his internet bill. How are you going, Marco?
Yeah, it's all been paid in advance, mate. But yeah, good evening all. Good evening, fellas. And all to the chat. But just quickly before we move on to Make My Money, obviously, again, my fantastic neighbour Gino, for some reason, keeps on giving me a bag of goodies. You know, he goes to Coles, and he goes shopping, and he gets me discounts, and you know, and he brings a bag back to me. So if you guys want to be like a couple of seconds patient, I'm going to give you some goodies out here. Like oh geez, oh look at this. Mate, oh Enzo, thank you, mate. Look, these guys are on special at the moment. Marshmallows, mate. Marshmallows on special, mate. Hey, have a look at this one here. These guys are about $1.50. $1.50. Smith's Crisps, Spud Chips. These are the best chips you can get out in the market at the moment. Mate, $1.50 for what's that? 170 grams of spuds. Fantastic. You know what? He actually even warmed up some dinner for me. Oh, jeez.
Doesn't look warm, mate.
It's a fucking another cold pie, Gino. It's another bloody bullshit cold pie. These. Oh, Gino, look, I'll have to do it. But there is another discount going on at the moment. There's spoons. They're called wooden spoons. So at Woolworths, 50 cents wooden spoons there. And if you want a cold pie, you're more than welcome. And obviously some chips here for $1.50. Crisps. And don't forget the marshmallows, guys. Don't forget the marshmallows. So good evening, all. Let me know if you want some discounts, and happy to provide you for service. Let's have a good show, boys.
All right. That's 2 minutes I will never get back in my life. That's as funny as a funeral that was. And you know what's funny about that? He spent a whole week organising that, and that's what he came up with. Let's see what the chat has to say about this.
My neighbour Gino.
This isn't even funny. Worry about your shit team who bet the two bottom sides by a total of 6 points. Let's have. Well, we got. Thank you very much, Lone Wolf, $5. I think I like it better when Mark's internet isn't working. Thank you very much for the $5, Lone Wolf. You're always there. We got Carl's. She's a new member. Thank you, Carl. Becoming a new member. Thanks, Carls. We love Carls, and she's I think she's in the top 20 in our tipping comp. Yes, Slobo just wasted 2 minutes of his life. Man, I seem to give you guys a whole week to come up with something, and that was the best you could come up with. Well done. Well done. That was good that you brought out the marshmallows, the soft Essendon side you are. Well done for beating North by 2 points. Magpie Manny, how are you, mate?
Oh, fuck's sake. What was that, Mark? Seriously, mate. You could have done a better job if you were sitting outside Vic Market selling the products. You would have done better than that. I mean, listen, you win one game, you win another game, all of a sudden you think you're on top of the world. Well, let me tell you, you're still outside of the 8. A very warm good evening to all my Magpie fans and all my viewers out there. Matula. Now, Matula's changed her name. I noticed this and I thought to myself, she calls herself now what? What does she call herself? Wog something.
Well,
Wog Mum Matula.
Wog Mum in the chat, mate.
And And Gunners, I wish you all the best tomorrow morning when you play against PSG. I really would like to see the Gunners play Champions League final, but you'll be playing against the Italians, Inter, and believe me, they have got an amazing side. But anyway, a very warm good evening to everybody. Rocco, you're looking well like usual. Liam, I like the hairstyle. And Marco, you've
so we
taken me
got
back.
Wagma Matula, of course. What world do we live in when Mark's shit side won and the rest of us lie? It's like the Twilight Zone, mate. We've got the Gunners here, Mark, my lover, and you just did. You wish there's a big game on tonight, so you wish you got Enzo. Thanks. Hey, my little friend Liam. He was at the catch up. He was at the catch up this week, so we got to meet him and his lovely family. Thank you very much. Where we go? We got Lou, Felino. We've got, of course, Peter Bluebagger. Yeah. And we've got who else we got here? We've got heaps of people here, man. We're doing really good. Galicchio is on. Good to see he was at the catch up. Thanks. And there's another one in 2 weeks' time, so make sure everyone catches on to that.
No, he didn't say the catastrophe. He said the catch up, not the catastrophe. They get it wrong. The catch up. All right, go on. Go. Sorry, Michael.
You're all what, mate?
Fucking hell! I'd rather Mark's fucking thing than that one there. That was so bad, right?
What is that?
That was so bad. Hey, tell me something. Don't ever stir my catch up. What do you do for your fans, Magpie Manny? What do you do? Do you do anything? But you do anything but rock up at 7:27 and think that you're a star? Remember, you're just a guest on this show. Shut up and only talk when I tell you to. Right? Yes, just remember, Black and White United, the only Magpie person I kind of like. Mark, you're banned from any sort of opening segment. Yeah, that's it. He is banned. Rocco Moro all the way from Perth. This is not comedy, mate. Listen, Mark, what are you doing? You're ruining the show, mate. You're trying to come back at me from last week. That was absolutely pathetic, mate.
It was a quick segment, guys. I don't want to drag it on for the rest of the whole show.
You know what?
We're the only team that have won this week, mate. So
why don't you leave now, Mark? Why don't you leave now and start getting ready for next week's show? Because your beginning is absolutely pathetic, mate. That was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That was the most, I'm telling you, that was the most unfunniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think I'm exaggerating here. I don't think I'm exaggerating. I actually laughed. I'm going to be serious, and I can I'm going to tell you the truth, and my sister will back me up here. I laughed at my mum's funeral because something happened. That was funnier than what I just saw now, mate. I'm telling you now. That's how bad that was.
I'm promoting some specials at Woolies, mate. I can't help that. I just thought I'd bring it out to the viewers out there to go out there and buy some of these products at a reasonable price. Look, I'm not trying to be funny.
This is a football show, mate.
I would stop because
Mark, I hope you make a YouTube
But anyway, we'd like to thank our fans because one of them sent this through, and we have made it onto a card again. Check us out.
Oh, no.
Here we go. We got the garbage pale kids. You got Rocco there. He's got the potatoes there. He's looking fine there. You got Liam. He's happy where he's sitting. Look at him. He's like a pig in shit. Then you got Magpie Manny there. Look at Magpie, mate. Look at him. He's got the pie. He's even got Abby.
I love that.
He loves Abby. And then you got the S of the Marco. He's telling everyone to stuff off. He's going to have a beer, eat some potatoes, and go home. Check him out. Thank you very much. How good are these, mate? I love this shit.
Oh, they're brilliant. They're brilliant.
Pretty good, mate.
And who's that young lady in the background on my card?
That's
Is that Abby?
That's Abby, mate. Your favourite. Have you noticed she's pregnant? I'm a bit sus ever since you started liking her. She became pregnant. Like, I just don't know what's going on there. So thank you very much. Actually, this is thanks to our friend Peter Bluebagger, mate. Thanks again, man. He's a star, man. He does all this stuff for us. So I don't know, man. I might print these out. I really like these. These are cool, man. So thank you. Thanks, guys, for chucking that.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Also, we will get Black and White to come on a bit later because I like his insight into our. There's a lot to talk about. What can we do? Cheers. Nah, I'm just see, Liam. I'm hanging to find out ticket info for October. What's that all about?
Oh, the wrestling, probably.
This is gold.
Yeah.
Of course it is. If you look, if you look carefully, you've got thing. We got this one here. Rebound 50. He's like, what have you got? A West Coast? Are you a West Coast supporter? Seriously, is there anything worse than a West Coast supporter? Jesus Christ, man. I don't think there's West Coast play Richmond. Oh, that's going to be the battle. That's going to be a battle. That's going to be a battle, West Coast. I don't think West Coast will get within 10 goals of Richmond this week. So,
I love your work, Rocker. Well done. That is beautiful. Here we go, man.
I got to stick up for the Fourever Rivals. All right, let's get into this. Yeah, we're going to talk some footy here, man. What a week it's been in footy. I don't know what you want to get stuck into first, man, because there's heaps of like shit going on that, like outside of the game, outside of the game, or not outside of the actual, time on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to start off with I'm going to leave it to you, Liam. What are we going to start off with? Because there's 4 or 5 items I want to talk about.
There is. I think we should start off with some a little bit of texting off the field from certain players.
I like it. Everyone heard about that.
Yes. Willie Rioli's been sending some threats, some not very nice things to some opposition players, saying,
was Willie sending photos of his Willie?
Oh boy, no, he's already been caught out with that before when he tried to pass off Gatorade as his urine. I think he's learnt his lesson. He's threatening. I think it was Bailey Gale from the Bulldogs, saying stuff like to other players from the Bulldogs team, just saying, be careful when he goes out in Darwin. Don't leave. Don't leave your hotel room. Yeah, definitely not stuff that we've really seen before. You don't want to be sending that sort of stuff to players. And now, honestly, it seems like kind of the media pressure from it is sort of forcing the AFL to step in and be like, hey, like, you can't do this. This is terrible. Like, this is not what we stand for at all.
Was it
we've
two
spoken
players?
about incidents that happens on the field, but this is off the field. For me, when I played,
was it two players exchanging? Was it just two players exchanging their Willie sitting into a player, but not with any malice intent? Maybe it was just
there was intent behind it, though. That's the problem. It wasn't friendly banter, I don't believe.
Right. Okay.
You should have researched it like I asked you to, Magpie Manny, but as usual, you don't. No.
I'm asking the question.
Come on, you should have researched it. He actually sent it, and he sent him a warning to be careful while he's over there, because be careful about going outside because he's got some friends there. But the thing is there, right? Now we find out this isn't the first time. This is the third time he's done this, right? He's been sending out. There was threatening messages to a Geelong and also threatening messages to, can someone help me with the other side?
Essendon player.
Essendon, you're absolutely correct. Now, since then, Essendon and Geelong have said, you know what, don't worry about it. We don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, what I'm upset, he can send whatever he wants. I'm upset with the AFL, right? That's what shits me. The AFL shits me because what kind of penalty you get from that? Now, just at the start of the year, what happened? Some people dressed up in a private party, and guess what? The AFL jumped in and gave one player 4 weeks for dressing up at a private function. This bloke sends messages, and they've wiped it under the table. What is going on? Is there 2 standards? I don't want to be saying too much here, but is there a standard for one and a standard for another?
You know,
You
it could be a
right.
possible double standard, but Dale has actually accepted the apology. So
what's he supposed to do?
Yeah, but I think you're right there when you're talking about the fact that the AFL, there's a lot of inconsistency. I mean, on the field, you hit the player accidentally, you know, he's concussed 4 weeks. You do something like that off the field, and you know, we talk about the AFL should be gutsy enough to say, right, fine him 4 or 5 weeks, can't play. But then my question is, I don't know if you've seen the press that was released by some muppet on the for Port Adelaide, who turned around and said, "Well, we're going to be there to support our player. Willie's out there now and he's training, and we're going to be there."
What are they supposed to say? You know, like the team's going to try to back them up, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, why don't you just say, you know what? Well, listen. I think we keep forgetting that these players, it's a privilege. It's a huge privilege to be able to play, right, elite level. Yeah. So the moment you're playing at elite level, you've got to have some form of professionalism. Okay. Now, I know for a fact that there's no way I could do something like that in my workplace and have anybody gathering me around saying, "Look, don't worry about it. It's okay. We're going to support you." Forget it. You're out the door. It's very, very simple. Why are we making it so simple for these players who think they've got privileges because they're playing at elite level? Shouldn't work that way. It's a reputation that when you play for a team, you've got to also remember that there's a reputation that you have to abide by. You know, this club, there's a lot of history. I don't want you doing what you're doing just because all of a sudden you're misbehaving for whatever reason, and then you want to be supported by your club. I don't know.
First of all, Lone Wolf, again, thanks for the $5. Bailey Smith's got a fine for flipping the bird, and yet the AFL being quiet on this. And that's absolutely right. Should he have copped a fine? I don't know if he should, but they did, right? Right, they did give it to him. And then with this, they're just quiet about it. And it kind of like, again, I'm not going to say too much. Is there a standard for one and another standard for another? Mate, if they're going to set the standard, mate, as I said, someone got suspended 4 weeks for putting on a costume. So, and a threat, like you said, a threat is a threat. A threat, it doesn't matter if you do it or you go through with it. It's a threat. It's a criminal offense. You can't go around threatening people, right? He's doing it. The other thing is, like I said, this is now we find out he's done it another 2 times, and the AFL swept it under the fucking rug. Now it's only come out because the 3rd time they can't keep it out. So now they've brought it out and they said, they might be looking into it again. What, after there was a public outrage? I'll tell you something.
That's what I said. Yeah.
And Laura Kane and Dylan and that, seriously, guys, mate, you better have a good hard look at yourself, mate, because you aren't running this place the way it should be run, man.
No, you're right. Though. Yeah.
They interviewed the Essendon coach, and they asked him about, the whole situation, and he turned around and said, "Well, as far as we're concerned, it's not our problem. It's Port Adelaide's problem. We'll let Port Adelaide deal with it." Now, to me, it's like, why say it's their problem? Why don't you just say, you know what? It is a huge problem, and it's not only a problem for Port Adelaide, but it's a bad reflection on, all these young boys who, have got these players on a pedestal. You know what I mean? And we're talking about this the other day, we're saying that, sticking your fingers up and all that kind of stuff. You got to look at it as what is acceptable in the community. I know that, on the ground it's a bit different, and let's not forget that when you're playing, on a, in front of 80,000 spectators, the crowd can be very, very ugly. They can be very, very disturbing the way they yell at players and whatever. But we've got to look at it as what's acceptable in the community. Yeah, you wouldn't see me. I mean, I'll give you an example. I've seen a driver pulling up on a platform on a station where there was delays, major delays, and people were abusing the poor train driver and so forth. And the poor train driver made an announcement to say, you know what, I understand your frustration and I apologise for whatever was with. So, you've got to think outside the square and, let's not make, let's not create worse situations. And these young guys, I said, there's an image you've got to uphold. There's an image that you've got to, you play for a club, you're playing at the highest level.
Now, just Chef Jack, I like your stuff, even though yesterday you soaked it up a bit and left. But laugh out loud, Rocco, we're just as bad. Just as bad as what? Well, how are we just as bad? When have I threatened anyone? I'll tell you right now, I work with Manny, and he just said it. If I threaten someone at work, guess what? I'm not working the next day. But I think you missed the whole thing here that I said. The thing is that it's the penalty of not giving him a penalty and then giving someone else a penalty for something that's not even as bad, or flipping the finger. They're just picking and choosing what they want to do. Come on, guys, man. Hey, Mark, you've been a bit... Before you go, Oz, thanks, mate. You gifted the TJP membership. Thanks, mate. You're a star. That was for Rocco Moro, brother. All right. Sorry. That was, I don't know. I didn't read what Rocco was. So I do apologize for attacking you. But again, I think that everyone, everyone should be should be dealt with at the same standard. You know what I mean? Yeah, all good. Got it. I was answering him. I didn't read. I can't read every message out there. So you said Rocco. I'm Rocco, but there is a Rocco Moro. What do you reckon, Mark?
Oh, look, mate. Look, boys. What as they used to say years ago, what stays on the ground should be kept on the ground. So we're happy with a bit of sledging and banter on the ground, but
this wasn't on the ground, mate.
I know that. So we can keep that to a certain.
No, you can't have that, Mark. I have to disagree, right? Because there's been plenty of policies and things fixed up now about racial abuse that's happened on the ground. It's not what happens. So you can't go on the ground once you cross the white line. You can say and do whatever you want. They've set the standards. You can't do that anymore. You can't say anything. Everyone gets offended. What I'm asking for is why is a penalty different for one than the other? That's what I'm asking. You can't threaten people. You can't be racist. You can't be sexual. You can't do any of this. Sorry, you can't do it in the standards.
Obviously, what Rioli's done is he's taken it out of his own, concept to go out there and personally send a player a text message. So that to me is personal. That to me, regardless of the fact of him sending that message and what the message was, we can all assume that. I don't know if it was a fact that's what he actually said or texted to the player. But if
there's the text is there, it's actual fact.
Do that, then that to me is more of a criminal offence. It's got nothing. I mean, the AFL can step into it, but it's more about if the opposition player taking offence to that and taking it further.
No, you're wrong there. Because the AFL stepped in. No, you're wrong because the AFL stepped in with the Richmond player.
That's right.
Which one?
The one that got suspended for 4 weeks for who? Sorry, I've forgotten his name now. Bolter. He got AFL stepped in and gave him 4 weeks. That's a criminal offence. Why did the AFL get involved?
That was more of an assault. That's a bit more different than texting
it's not different.
And just throwing a coward's punch and maybe killing somebody. It's a different.
It's not different. Do you know if you walk into a shop with a plastic gun, right? That is the same as walking in with a real gun.
Well, it's not
that. You're wrong there, Mark. Criminally, you will get the charge as you are holding a real gun.
Yeah, no. Well, if you've got a good solicitor, they'll probably fight that, and you'll get a lesser sentence. You'll probably get a lesser sentence because you're not.
We're talking about Mark. What we're saying,
Mark, from murder to manslaughter to second
Mark,
degree.
we're saying that the law is a law, okay, and the problem is that. And I know that Rocco's been tippy-toeing around it and he doesn't want to bring it to the attention, but I can tell you right now.
And we're not.
And we're not. I understand that. I know that. You know what I mean? But if let's just say it was an Italian and a Greek who was whatever, it may be different. So, I think there is a little bit of double standards here. I think that the AFL wants to try and protect a certain pedigree, if we want to call it that, okay? And therefore, a lot of things get swept under the carpet because they have to, okay? Now, the reality is there's got to be code of conduct on the field, off the field. Very, very simple. You do the wrong thing on the field, you're going to get punished. You do something off the field, you should be getting punished.
Answer the question, Rocco, Liam. So what's the consequences? He's done what he's had to do. It was after the game, so it was a personal, kind of reaction to a player. So what's the AFL going to suspend him? Is it going to be a criminal offence? Look,
that's the problem. There's nothing yet.
Look,
that's the problem. That's what I was going to say. Is like the media are now putting pressure on the AFL to make a decision because they haven't done anything, and they're coming out with all these other things to say why. But I think there should be some sort of a punishment. I'm not too sure what it exactly should be, but yeah, there should be some sort of punishment.
Sorry, so the AFL punishing what? The AFL,
Mark,
not yet. No,
Mark, you don't even want a player to do the bird, right? You don't even want crowds to swear, and now you're trying to justify this.
I'm talking about the actions after the post.
It doesn't matter if it's after. Why did the AFL penalise Bolter?
Well, that's the AFL for you, mate. That's a very simple question. That should have been
asking.
That's a criminal offence. So what Rioli has done is become a criminal offence. AFL can get involved as much as they can. But at the end of the day, you're personally attacking somebody. I don't give a shit about the AFL. I don't give a shit about someone that I work for. If someone personally attacks me, I'm going to take it further, whether that player wanted to or not, and then the AFL has jumped in because the player is going to go, don't worry about it, let it go, let's move on.
I think you're missing the point. I'm saying the AFL jump in when they want, and then when they want to protect someone, they don't. If it's good for one, it's good. Why did the AFL jump in when someone wore a costume at the start of the year?
Well, we obviously know what the AFL is coming to, mate. It's becoming ridiculous, Rocco, and that's the key. It's too judgmental at the moment, mate. One thing they're doing this, 1 minute they're doing that. All right?
Yeah, but Mark, what you're saying is they should be taking it personal. You're saying they should be taking it personal. That's what you're saying. So,
I would take it personally if someone threatened me.
But what I'm saying is, but you got to say these players are under the limelight. It's like I can tell you right now. You see drivers out on the road, and correct me if I'm wrong. You see drivers out on the road who drive a company vehicle, and their way of driving is more professional, right? Because they know at the end of the day they're carrying on their vehicle the company logo. So it's a reputation that you leave behind. But if you don't, you drive like a hooligan. Yeah, you don't give a shit.
Well, then just let Port Adelaide do with them, mate. Let Port Adelaide do with them.
These are players. There's a code of conduct. They're under the AFL umbrella, and it's got to be done better than that. There's no consistency. There's no consistency.
Black and white.
What's going on, boys? How are we?
How are you, buddy?
Not too bad.
You've jumped in straight into the frying pan here, mate. Straight into the firing pan. We've gone straight into Willie Rioli. What he's gone through. I know you've got an opinion about this.
I looked at the only opinion that I've got on this is the fact that, if you compare it to other events that have happened this season and in past situations, the problem is the AFL is now hiding behind an image, right, on what to do with him. So whether they penalise him or not, and if this was any other player that it happened to, then there would be a punishment. You can't make threats with whatever. How the AFL can fine players for giving the bird, right, and then pretty much walk away with this one scot-free after threatening. Was it a threat to kill? Was it a threat to hurt? Who knows what it was? But at the end of the day, you can't do it. So I think that this is now not so much a Port Adelaide problem. This is an AFL issue, and they've got to sort that out, something vicious, because at the end of the day, you can't be making threats and stuff outside of not even during the game. You can't be doing that. You can say stuff about the game or whatever it is, but you can't be making threats that he's going to get belted or whatever it is, wherever he goes. It's just stupid.
You can't banter anymore. Andreas. You can't.
That's not that's not banter though. Threatening to kill someone or hurt someone and stuff like that.
On the playing field, mate. On the playing field, I'm saying that you can't banter now and you can't sledge a player, right? Reasonably, not disrespectful to him, right? You say is that your concept that you can't do that anymore?
Oh, you should be able to banter and stuff like that with an opponent or whatever it is. Like if someone jibs the contest, you should have every single right to call them a pussy or a weak bastard. Or you can do that 100%, but you can't be threatening to you can't turn around to a player or something and turn around and say, I've got mates or whatever it is when you go to Darwin and they're gonna get you. They know where your hotel is and shit like that. Like, are you serious? Like, is this guy actually for real?
That's a threat. That's a personal threat. That's
yeah,
not
you can't be.
That's a criminal issue, mate. What if that player? What if that player sent to say still side bottom after the game? You're soft. You're weak. You're shit. Would you look at it differently? Would you look at it?
No, because you can call other players shit. You can talk about that stuff, but you can't threaten to kill somebody. There's a perception. There's a level that you shouldn't cross. Yeah, there is a fine line.
Fucking hell, I've got to jump in now. That is not a fine line, Mark. There's no fine line between saying you're a shit player, you're a shit side, to don't step outside because I'll kill you. I'll get someone to kill you. That's not a fine line.
No, I was referring to about. I didn't say that. I was just referring to Andreas. That's exactly right. You don't know.
He said, I've got friends and that. You better be careful when you walk out of your room because I've got friends over in Darwin. Something along those lines there.
Yeah, of course. Okay, that's a different concept of it. But what if you said to him, "Oh, mate, you're soft," and
but he didn't. He didn't.
Okay. I'm just saying. What if he did do that? Is that all right?
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. We're talking about this one incident. I'm talking about it's a third time. I'm talking about 2 other times they hit it, the AFL, and now they do nothing about it, and yet they penalise Bailey Smith for putting up his finger.
Yeah, that's a good point that you make, Rocco.
For doing 4 weeks for putting on a costume.
That's pretty sad, Rocco. No one
gets
No one got happened 3 times. No one got happened 3 times now, which is a serious allegation.
That's a point.
3 times. That's absolutely ridiculous, Rocco. I'm with you guys, but
3
times it's happened to an Essendon player, another player, and now the latest player. How do you let that? How do you let that go? How do you let that go?
Well, that's
I know why they're letting it go, but anyway, I'm not going to go there. But at the end of the day, the fact that he's done the first offence, right, and then all of a sudden within 24 hours, we've been made aware now that this is the 3rd time because now shit's coming out. You know, if it was the one time, regardless of how bad it is, all right, he gets a warning or whatever it is, which is not right, but where everyone's aware of it. The fact that now that this has been an ongoing issue and it's been kept from the public shows that, you know, there's a serious problem here. And, you know, for Kochi to come out on one of the radio stations this morning and defend him and say, oh, you need to look at the bigger picture because of the racism and all the stuff and everything that he cops. I'm not buying that. I'm not copying the racism card. I'm not copying the whole, all that scenario. It's that is completely irrelevant to what he said on the field. So if anybody wants to play that card there, I'm not going to hear it. I'm not going to stand for that shit.
What that does? You know what that does? You know what that does when that Koshi comes out and does shit like that? Because I don't know if it's happening or not. But the problem is then it really does like cover when it really does happen, right? Now he's using it, right? Because there was nothing said about it until now. The whole media and everyone's made a scene about it. Now he's come out and said, oh, he's copying it and that. But that's almost taking it away when it really does happen out there, right? That's what we're trying to stop. We're trying to stop the racism. I think as fans, mate, I lived in the 80s. I think as fans and that we've come a long way, mate. We have come a long way, mate, and we have all learned and got better. You know what I mean? But the point is they're just allowing shit. They're doing whatever they want, the AFL. They push that under the carpet. They fine him. Everything's inconsistent. Talk about the MRO. Talk about umpiring decision. Everything's inconsistent, and no one is taking any responsibility for it. No one's taking. And if we say anything, we're the bad people. Like people have been saying in the chat what they believe. I'm not going to put it up, right? I'm not going to put it up, but everyone's saying the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That's all
because nobody's stupid, Rocco. Everybody sees through the bullshit. Let's be honest here. Everyone sees through the cover up. Everyone sees through all the crap that goes on with this stuff, right? And when they hide behind a certain banner, and there's two of them. There's the race card and there's the mental health card. And I'm not scared to say that, but that's what they hide behind when they make serious fuck ups. That's been like that for ages. And anybody who disagrees with that is living in some sort of leftist delusional fucking land. I'm sorry.
Well, the only reason we don't say anything, because if we do say something, we get now criticised for it, right?
Yeah.
So we've got to be careful what we say and do. And I'll tell you what, it's not just here, man. It's at work. It's on the street. You can't say anything
100%.
anymore. All right, and
100%.
I live with it. I live with it. This is the world you want to live in. Fine, mate. I'll live in that world. Fine, mate. I'll do it. Thank you very much. You know. But again, if you want to be the AFL, we'll talk about the AFL, and you want to run this code, and you're going to put every club under your banner, right? Because they got complete control in what they do, right? With their money, with everything, mate. Why don't you fucking, instead of like worry about other shit, why don't you pay your umpires full-time wages so they can do a better job? You know what I mean? They're all over the place, mate. They're all over the place. It really gives me the shits when shit like that happens, you know, that should never have happened. And if you're going to penalise, think for putting up his finger, you penalise this bloke even harder for what he done.
It makes the Bailey Smith stuff look comical now. Like it does. It makes it look like it's such a significant, tiny little thing that nobody even now gives a shit about. Like, so I don't know.
Obviously, this player is he's gotten away with it. That's the thing. This is his third time that he's done it directly to.
And we only found out now, Mark, that it's his first time.
He's gotten away with it. So if he didn't get caught down, he would have probably kept on going until something got even worse, possibly. But it's good that it's been put up now, and you got to punish him for it, criminally or the fuck it is.
The question mark, but the question is why doesn't anybody? And I'm not talking about us on the show. I mean, we all know why. We know what it is. But my question is, why has it had to happen 3 times? First of all, and then why has nobody got the balls? And I'm talking, for example, about your coach, right? No balls whatsoever to say, you know what? It is a problem, and we as a club need to lead by example, and we're gonna actually take this matter further with Port Adelaide. But you know what it is? Let's not overdo it. Let's not cause any problems. And he turned around and he says, it's Port Adelaide's problem.
Yeah.
Right? And then he turns around and says, oh, nothing's going to happen. So he's even saying nothing's going to happen. Of course it's not going to happen.
Yeah. But it's not Port Adelaide's problem. It's the AFL's problem. It's the AFL's problem. You want to be the gatekeepers? Well, fucking be the gatekeepers, right? Don't pick and choose who you let in. Don't be the bouncer and just let in the pretty girls. Right?
But hang on, Rocco. Shouldn't the club have certain codes of conduct? Shouldn't they, as a club themselves?
100%. That's another thing. That was like Richmond. They should have their own code and say, you know what? We don't accept this. I don't care who you are, right? We don't accept it. You get penalised. They should have done it. But you know what? The AFL should have done it first.
It just goes, Rocco. It goes against the narrative, and it goes against the agenda, the political agenda of the AFL to give him a massive punishment. And if it was two other players from 2 other sides of a different nationality, then this would be the biggest story since Wayne Carey slept with his mate's missus. Like, really, it would be massive.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I'm so astonished that the AFL hasn't come out and done more about this. It actually makes us fans look stupid. Like that we have to buy this bullshit.
And it does. And the only reason they're even considering anything now is because of the outrage from everyone, right? And everybody out there, these shows and all this stuff, and even the media and that, but the media won't say nothing until it gets too hot, you know. But it's stuff like this that gets it out there, and they start. So I don't think that your voice doesn't mean anything, man. Enough people can, say something will get done. But if they do something now, right, what does that say? Because of the backlash, it's almost like an insult. You know what I mean? You need us, and sometimes you do need us. Sometimes you do need the public.
That's the colour here of the AFL, and it's doing this. That's what it is here, like that. If they do something, and to be honest, I would rather them not do something now, because it just shows that they just caved under the pressure. You have to be the first ones to initiate that, and that goes for Port Adelaide as well. They have to be the first ones to initiate it and say, no, we don't accept this from our team. He's now suspended at least for this week. He's not playing, and we're going to do his education and whatever it is that they do. That's it. Educate. That's it. And if they did that, don't give him a week off. He's going to go to some education classes. He's going to say, this is unacceptable. You can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And even though that's his third time now it's come out that he's done it, that's his first strike. You miss a week, you're back the week after. Done. And us fans would shut up because we know they have made a stand for it and they've done something. That's all that needed to happen.
He's a week enough. He's a week enough.
But you're also doing the education classes and you're doing the stuff, and that's what the AFL would want to say. Whether he does it or not, we don't know. It doesn't matter. But the fact that they've come out and said that, if they did come out and say that, that would have been acceptable for this time. But what happens now, Mark, if they turn around and within 2 weeks this happens again or another incident's happened? What happens then? Then the AFL have to do something. It'd be too late. It'd be too late. But then all of a sudden, then he might miss a week. Then he might do the education classes. It's like, well, that's the fourth time he's done it. If you're in a workplace and you racially abuse someone or you threaten to kill someone or whatever, and you do that 4 times, I guarantee you wouldn't have a job, and you get a DCM and don't come Monday, and you wouldn't even get paid out any sort of leave or anything. It'd be piss off.
You wouldn't get 4. I'll tell you right now. Not at my workplace. You wouldn't get 4. You get 1. You get 1. You do that shit, I'm telling you, you're not coming to work the next day. Easily. Straight away. And I'm going to put out the link soon, Chef Jack. I will put out the link soon, but I don't want too many people on. We'll get you on soon enough, man. Just give us a bit of time. I want to go through a few other things, man. I mean, we can talk all night about that, and it's not going to fix anything, but it's I'm going to say it's a disgrace, right? Let's talk umpiring. We've got to talk about that, because especially you two guys there, right? You would have been fuming on, was it Friday night, Saturday night, whatever it was, Saturday night. You would have been fuming. Now,
the ball was touched. The tackle was too high, was too low. Why? I mean, at the end of the day, they've done their job.
Oh, Manny's taking. He's a smart man. He does it. I'll give you it's not just. I mean, those decisions stand out, right? But there's plenty. I mean, there was even the one against Sicily and the Richmond player where he's tripped him. You know what I mean? And then he's grabbed him and pushed him on the ground, and should that been reversed? Who knows? But with the one with Collingwood, look, touched or not touched, that doesn't matter. What upset me was, what's the boundary umpire getting involved with that?
Yeah,
that the goal umpire was right there, mate. Like, what? You don't know what the goal umpire was going to call, because he didn't give him a chance. He came in and he come rushing in. You know, like, how many times you see that an umpire from the other side of the ground make a decision? You know what I mean? And you're saying, well, what's going on here? Like, that's what I didn't like. I didn't like that he came in, soft call, bang. They were never going to overturn that. Evidence to overturn that, you know.
As soon as the umpire had made the call of, I believe it is touched, it was always going to be touched. The part that that decision pissed me off the most was that you could clearly see on the replay on the screen, and then when I watched the highlights later on the next day, you can clearly see that he didn't touch the ball. So if the VAR or whatever the fuck it's called in the AFL, if they turn around and they can see that there is a gigantic gap between the hand and the ball, then there is absolutely no way that they should have let that go back to the goal umpire's call. Right? It should have been the evidence here shows the ball was not touched and it's crossed the line without being touched. Therefore, decision on the scoreboard, it's a goal. That's what it should have been.
You know, just on that part there, Andreas, we had a discussion last year, I think it was, where we had similar situation. It wasn't with Collingwood. It was a Carlton game, and Rocco turned around and said that it takes a lot of guts as a player to sit there and say that you've actually touched it, right?
When you haven't touched it.
You know, and now to sit there and this Geelong player, he was adamant that he touched it. I mean, you know, the replay clearly shows, but he was adamant that he touched it. I mean, to me, okay, it's a game you want to win, but seriously, that's how you want to win a game, by sitting and saying, "Oh, but I touched it." You know,
I think he influenced the decision.
Of course he did.
He influenced the decision 100%. You could see it. He came in and he influenced the decision. I just don't like that the boundary umpire got involved with that. How if the goal umpire can't work it out from 2 feet away, what's the boundary umpire behind 2 goalposts? How is he getting involved in that?
So the bigger issue here that I have, and this is not just from a Collingwood's point of view for this one here, I'm going to talk about all of them, yeah? If the goal umpire is right there on the line, they should be limited as to how many times that they can access the score review system. Why can't the goal umpire just do what he did back in the 2000s, back in the 90s? You're on the goal line and you make a call. Even if the call is incorrect, you stick with it and you call it, and that's it. And this whole thing shuts up and nobody says anything. There's so many ways to fix it, right? So what do you have to? So the fact that we've got that sort of technology now, that sort of takes out the purpose of having a goal umpire, does it not? Like, what's the whole purpose of having a goal umpire now? You might as well just like have a fucking some sort of artificial intelligence system that just makes a sound when the ball crosses the line. I know it sounds stupid, but really, if the goal umpire is right there and it's directly in front of his face, make a call, right? Unless it's a big pack and you then, fair enough, all right, go to the fucking score review system. But the more I complain about it, the more I sound like a sook because it was against Collingwood. But in general, right, we should be able to have a goal umpire who says, no, hang on a second, I don't need to go to the technology. I'm going to make a decision, and this is what I'm paid to do. I'm going to call it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Oh, look, and I agree. And it's got nothing. Look, to tell you the truth, nothing pleased, just like you, nothing pleased me more when that decision was paid a point. Nothing pleased me more when that was called a trip. Right? Let's be serious. I'm a Carlton supporter. But as a lover of the game, I didn't like what happened there. I didn't like what happened.
So this is where I'll post the question over to Liam. From a Richmond point of view, what was the difference between Bobby Hill's tackle and Sicily's tackle? I want to hear it from a Richmond supporter.
The way that I saw the Bobby Hill one was the momentum, because he's running at full pace and it slid, and then it's gone down and it's taken his legs. That's how I saw it.
When did the Geelong player dispose of the ball, or when did he incorrectly dispose of the ball? Was it when Bobby Hill's hands were around his legs, or was it from the initial tackle?
I thought it was from the initial tackle, from how I saw it.
It was. So if you watch the Sicily one and if you watch the Bobby Hill one, both players, Rioli and the Geelong player, both dropped the ball at the exact same time before the momentum got onto the feet. So really, it's holding the ball because you pay the first decision, you pay the initial one there. Yeah. Unless you smack them across the face or something like that, you overturn it, whatever. Yeah. But that's how I thought the rules were there. But at the same time, if I whinge too much,
I'm going to be devil's advocate here. I'm going to be devil's advocate here. Do you pay the first one? Is that what you do? So what if you tackle someone?
You do pay the first one.
Tackle someone perfectly, right, and then you land on their back like really hard. What's that then?
Yeah, I see the point. I do see the point that you're coming with. But has he disposed of the ball incorrectly? What has he done? Has he held it? Is it a sling tackle? Because if you're going to talk about the head injuries, that sort of overrules everything. But if it's a clean tackle and then at the end he's got him into his back,
these days when you get tackled, when you get tackled these days, mate, you could get the ball and throw it. You can get the ball and drop it. It's still not even dropping the ball, holding the ball, mate. So that was the correct decision. That's the way the game is, mate. You get tackled now. The players are starting to adjust to it. You get tackled, you drop the ball, they're not going to get pinned for it. The umpires won't pin you for dropping the ball anymore. They won't pin you for throwing the ball anymore. So, yeah, obviously he got tackled. The ball come out of his hand, but what is that? Hold the ball? It's not holding the ball. He just dropped the ball, and then he got tackled.
Mark, Bobby Hill ran 50 metres to go and get him. He ran 50 metres. The Geelong player took 2 bounces. It doesn't matter. The Geelong player had prior opportunity. He had a country mile. He took 2 bounces. He was tackled, incorrectly disposed of the ball, and the momentum of Bobby Hill falling hit his ankles. The free kick shot. One of the umpires paid holding the ball. The other umpire paid a trip.
For me,
that's the other umpire coming into it.
For me, the biggest problem is the inconsistency. The biggest problem that I also find and really, really angers me, and I can tell you what, it really, really pissed me off. That game against Richmond and Hawthorn, when Sicily tackled the player. It was Rioli that he tackled, wasn't it? Yeah, he tackled Rioli. You tackled him. That's it. You tackled him. He gets up, and then all of a sudden, instead of walking and grabbing the ball and kicking the ball and getting over done with, he's grabbed him. He's lifted him up. He's thrown him on the ground. It's like, to me, that automatically is, listen, you fucking cockhead. You tackled him. You got the ball. Fuck off from there. Let him kick the ball. But you know what? It's the fucking arrogancy. They're bred in Hawthorn. They go and get fucked. They're fucking arrogant. That's why I fucking hate them. And KG, but I fucking hate your team, right? And then what the umpire should have done, they should have the balls to say, you know what? You want to play these fucking games on my fucking ground. No, because hard tackling and certain type of tackling I can accept. But that kind of behaviour, to me, is unacceptable. That's my opinion.
Then it comes can we just like, how tough can you be? Like what? So we're going to take out all toughness. I don't mind a little bit of like, hey,
a little bit,
mate, push him down and say, stay down, mate, stay down. Yeah. I don't mind a bit of that, mate. Yeah. I don't mind.
Can we talk about? Can we just like moving on from the Collingwood that those decisions for 2 seconds? There was a bigger issue on the weekend though. There was a much bigger issue when it was in the Essendon North Melbourne game when an umpire changed his decision. That there should override everything. The only reason why the Collingwood and Geelong games in focus is probably because it was the game of the round. But the North Melbourne Essendon game was actually a really entertaining game, especially the second half. And for an umpire to turn around and say, hold his earpiece and say, I've been advised, blah, 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 right? That there shows that if you want to talk about inconsistent.
Was that advice? What was given? What was the advice given to him? Like what was it?
We don't know. We don't know what the advice was. All we know was that his earpiece had told him to correct his decision and change.
Was it that, or was it something about blood or interchange, or was it something else?
No, because it was like there was a goal and then it was swapped and it was Essendon's ball, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the umpire had made a decision. The umpire had made a decision. I'm pretty sure the decision was a free kick to North Melbourne or whatever, and he's overcorrected it or vice versa. It was holding the ball or something, and he's gone to his earpiece and he goes, I've been advised it was the wrong decision. When in the 150-something years of this game have we ever seen an umpiring decision, right, an umpire correct his decision? When?
Are they getting feedback from up above?
Of course they're getting feedback. He said he held his earpiece and it was on Channel 7 and Fox Footy, and the umpire clearly said...
I saw it. I couldn't understand what it was for. I thought it was for maybe something else.
Never. The only exemption to that is if an umpire corrects his decision, is if the umpires are talking to each other on the field and they're both in dispute quickly, they quickly come up with a decision. We'll go with your one. That's it.
On the ground.
That's on the ground. Never has an umpire turned around and said, never has a field umpire turned around, held his earpiece and gone, I've been corrected from above.
All the umpires on the ground are all connecting to the earpiecing, mate.
But no, Mark.
Especially when it comes down to like if there's a player that's deliberately out of bounds, another umpire will quickly say to the other umpire, pay it or don't pay it.
No, it's not the umpires that are talking to each other. The umpires do talk to each other through the earpiece. But the message that he got to overcorrect the decision was from above. He said that. He said it.
Okay.
Because the umpire said it and it was on TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
he goes, I've been advised from above. Above's not the umpire 25 meters away from
now.
me.
Can I ask a question? We'll move away from these tackles. Now, if a player is about to kick a ball and the siren goes, on many occasions they got to make sure that they don't bend their body or they do something unusual, because then it looks like it's play on. Now, Chris marks the ball.
All right, before you go into that, I want to get back into this, man.
But we're talking about the umpire. Chris marks the ball.
Another issue. I know what you're going to say, and I'll let you say it. You're going to move away from what this important issue is, right? If they're getting talked to from above, I don't know if it's God, Jesus, who it is. If they're getting word from above, what the fuck is going on now? What you're telling me that decisions are getting changed from the umpire in the box looking at a screen? That's never happened before. And if that's the case, tell us. Like, if that's what's happening, are you serious? Then you know what's going to happen next? It's going to happen more and more now. It's going to happen more and more. There's going to be, Mark, you talk about the game fucking already slowing down too much because of all this shit. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? Well, you can't have fucking someone up above. What are the umpires doing there then? All of a sudden, we're getting the umpires getting talked to by God. We're getting the fucking boundary umpires telling the goal umpires what to do. Every time, even when a goal umpire makes a fucking decision, sometimes the umpire comes running in and says, I want to have a look. Like, what is going on, mate? If we're going to go down that track, mate, let's go, mate. Let's go completely. Let's put AI. Let's put lasers everywhere. Let's fucking do that. It's already happened to cricket. Cricket, they don't make decisions anymore. They're too scared to. Every run out is a bloody replay, right? Which is fair enough. But in the old days, you used to watch it. How many times they get it wrong? Fucking hardly ever, mate. You know why? Because they were trained for it and they knew there was no backup, right?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna support the umpires a little bit here. I'm gonna say, all right. We don't need to bring in this little, I don't know, let's just stick with calling it VAR or whatever, but we don't need to do stuff like that. Unfortunately, this game is hard to umpire. Sometimes the umpires are going to make mistakes. We've just got to accept it and move on. That would be the best solution. Otherwise, like Mark says, the game's going to be too slow and we're going to be stopping every 2 minutes and we're going to turn into cricket, like Rocco said, and we're going to be afraid to make any calls. Nothing will happen. You'll get away with everything. We just need to accept sometimes there is going to be bad calls. It sucks. We all hate it, but we just got to move on.
How about we maybe change the rule, and regarding that touched from that Geelong player, if he gets touched and it goes through the goals, it's a goal. If it hits the post and it goes in between the goals, it's a goal. That's it.
That changes the complete fabric of the game, man.
Well, it goes through the goals, mate. So there's no discrimination.
Remember they tried that in pre-season games.
It was the Wizard Cup in like 2004. Yeah,
and the ball would bounce off the post, come back into play, and then you can kick a goal.
Play on. No. It's gonna save all these reviews. If the ball goes through, the player says I've touched it. Bad luck. It went through for a goal. It's a goal. If it went through for a point, it's a point. It's going to be very simple. And it's going to make it maybe difficult now for defenders to start punching the ball forward instead of just tapping it through for a behind. So, I don't know, or a goal. So maybe
that's stupid. So what if you punch it through? What about if you punch it through from 2 meters out? Is that a goal?
Yeah, but the player hasn't kicked it. Well, you say like from a bounce or something, or from the bounce.
So what happens when you punch it through? Is that a point?
Well, it's a ball up. He's not kicking it.
Nah, come on, man. Now you're changing all these fucking. What are you talking about? So if you kick it, so what about if you kick it and then you punch it through?
as in like in the goal line.
Yes, so someone kicks it from 50 and then 2 meters out.
And it goes in for a goal. It's a goal. But that's going to differentiate the defenders. Then they're not going to try and punch it through. They're going to try and punch it forward.
Nah, man.
Well, a goal is a goal. Think about it.
That's a defender, mate. A defender's job is to get his hand to it and that, man.
I would rather every single time that happened, instead of paying a goal, if it went for the big sticks, you just pay a bit out of bounds and give the free kick to the team. Don't pay it as a goal.
I'd rather grab his fucking. I'd rather grab his
twice about it.
I'd rather grab. I'd rather grab both these hands and stick them in the fucking eye, right, and not watch football ever again. That's what I would rather do if that happens. Fuck that for a joke. Nah, now you're changing it completely, man. Like seriously.
We've gone off.
All right, I'm just gonna quickly go, Manny. Why are you so dark? Manny, what were you saying about? You're saying about.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why am I so dark? You're not being racist, are you?
You can't say that. Man.
No. I just wanted to say, because I've never seen this before, right? But I can understand if a player is about to kick a ball, and as he's approaching to kick the ball, like Jamie Elliott against the Bombers, where the siren went, and But my question is, why did the umpire walk up to Crisp, and what was that all about? That little conversation before he kicked the ball. To me, it was like,
not to go.
You're under pressure. You're under pressure. You're about to kick the ball.
He just warned him. Yeah.
What's he warning him?
He's warning him not to run off the mark.
Don't run off the mark. Don't run off the mark. Siren's gone. I'm telling you now. Don't go around. You've got to stay on your line.
But he heard the siren.
Every umpire.
What's the umpire got to do?
My question is, why would the umpire? It's a simple question. My question is, why would the umpire approach the player, especially when you know it's such a high pressure kick, right? It's a kick that's basically going to win or lose a game. The umpire shouldn't have been there. That's my personal opinion.
That's it. Spot on, Manny.
Oh.
To me, it just didn't make sense.
Look, I'm 50-50 with this one. The umpire probably shouldn't have spoken to him and been right in his face when he said that. But after every kick, after a siren, regardless if it's after the game or at one of the breaks or whatever, the umpire always goes up to a player and says, "Don't run off your mark. You have to go in a straight line." It happens every kick after a siren.
Or after the siren.
After the siren. But to be in his face and tell him, fair enough, maybe give him some personal space and just quickly remind him he knows the rules. You don't have to be that close to his face.
Well, all I'm going to tell him is the siren's gone. You've got to kick it. Make sure you keep away from him. Run in his face like fuck. What was he going to say? You probably said to him, if you kick this goal, you've just written history, right? This is going to be a fairy tale ending for you. I want you to sign my jersey or something. I mean, fuck's sake. Yeah.
And that's a proven point there, man. Because Rocco, not for anything, the game against Essendon and North Melbourne, one young fellow was about a minute and a half before the game, and he took a mark, and the umpire didn't say you got 20 seconds, you got 10 seconds. He just said after 30 seconds, play on. So the umpire didn't. Sorry,
he did say they do scream it out.
Well, after the 30 seconds, Rocco, he said to him, play on.
No, they don't. No, if you hear them, they'll say, no, you don't. You hear them. They'll go 10
seconds, 20 seconds, mate. Come on, man.
Yes, they do. Have a listen to them. The umpire, you hear the umpire go 10 seconds. You hear the umpire saying it. And anyway, that's a different situation because it wasn't after the siren.
No, it wasn't. That's the point. It wasn't after the siren. It was a minute before the game, and the umpire didn't say to the player, "You got 20 seconds or 30 seconds to kick the ball."
Because there is no seconds after the siren.
30 seconds, and he said, "Play on." That's it.
No, he said 10 seconds of that. They always say it, and there's a fucking shot clock. If you don't know that you've got 30 seconds to kick the ball, right? You've got to be on the move within the umpire says it, mate. The
It literally
umpire,
happened. In the North Melbourne Essendon game for that guy they brought in for North Melbourne. I forgot his name. He was lining up for goal. He went
that's
over
the
the
one
30
he's
seconds.
talking about.
Yeah, when he went over 30 seconds as he was running in. Bad luck. You've taken your time. It's play on.
But the umpire does say 10 seconds. They
Of course
warn
he
them
does.
how long. They
Of course
always say it. Mark.
They don't. Hang on, Rocco. Sorry, they don't say 10 seconds. They do 15 seconds, and then they don't say anything till play on. They say
But they
15
do give them a
seconds.
warning.
Yes, so you got 30 seconds. They tell them when it's 15 because it's half of it.
There you go.
And then as soon as they say that, they don't tell him anymore. They count it in their head, and if he hasn't kicked it, if he's not in the motion of kicking it at the thing, then yes. If he's still walking up, it's play on.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's always been the rules too. So I don't know why we're discussing that
While
one.
we're here, we could go on all day. I do want to get some other people, but while we got black and white, do you want to go over what happened on Saturday?
Yeah, yeah. Look, I'll quickly just touch on it before I head off. We can talk about
let's get the scores up. 12, 15, 87. Mate, I take a longer time. I take a long time to do these fucking graphics, mate. 13, 12, 90. Look at that. There he is. He took a good mark there too, this bloke. He's a not bad player. But yeah, so it was a 3-point win, and it was pretty much decided on the Siren, wasn't it?
Look, there was a couple of points that let Collingwood down. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the umpires now. Forget it. I'm taking that out of the game for a sec. I'm going to talk about the fact that in the first 10 minutes of the game, Collingwood weren't woken up in the first quarter in the first 10 minutes and let Geelong have a bit of a hot start. We played catch-up footy pretty much the rest of that first quarter. We hit the front and we didn't drop the lead until halfway in the third, or towards the end of the third or whatever. So we did well to come back. We were 20 points up in the third quarter, and then you've got Murray and still side bottom missing some pretty simple goals, some pretty simple shots, which if you kick those and you go close to 30 points up, the comeback's obviously probably not going to come on. So that being said, this game was lost on our behalf. It's not the umpires obviously had decisions that influence parts of the game 100%, but it's not the be all and end all of the result. At the end of the day, too, Collingwood supporters, and I'm a realist, we wouldn't even be worried about the umpires and stuff. We'd talk about it a bit, but if Cripps had to kick that goal, then it would be a completely different mindset change and whatever. So I'm a realist when it comes to this stuff. We had the game on our boot. We missed it. It doesn't matter. It's disappointing because in a grand final, Chris has kicked 2 of those against Brisbane. So you thought he probably would have kicked it, but it wasn't meant to be. It's just that was it. We lost the game in football. So I'm disappointed because
Geelong played well that last quarter, and Dangerfield that last 15 minutes, mate. If there's a player that you could say he's a superstar, he really dominated. Yeah,
of course he did. Of course he had. It was one of the best games I've seen Dangerfield play a million times. That was one of the best games I've ever seen him play, especially that second half. It was one of the most dominant performances I've seen of a player ever.
He lifted and he was like a bull, mate. He was like a fucking bull, man. He was true champion, mate. Good captain. Good, and look, he could have gone either way. Trust me, as Blue supporters, we were happy. But that if he had kicked that goal, man, everything was going to script, mate. Exactly what you wanted. That last centre bounce, right? Everyone's been talking about it. Dacos moving out. Whose decision was that to get Dacos out of giving space so they could open up?
That would have been a set play, Rocco. They would have done that at training. They would have done some sort of thing, and like Darcy Cameron doing a big punch across, get him out of there. The players run onto it. Dacos obviously runs onto the ball, and they could bring it forward. It would have been a set play. They would have tried, and we're not afraid to do that type of stuff. So, and that's been we did set plays in the grand final, and it won us a game. It won us a premiership at the end of it. So. That was just a tactical thing, I would have thought. Nothing too much to read into, but I don't think they'll be doing it again because now other clubs know exactly what it is. You know what I mean? They know what they're trying to do now.
Well, what are you going to do there? There's not much you can do there. So if he moves out, I mean, the players got to go with him, yeah? He's going to open up that gap.
Yeah, so he's dragging out
creating that space.
So you're creating the space, you're dragging out another midfielder. So basically it's 2-on-2 after excluding the ruckman, it's 2-on-2.
But as Dacos moves, I mean, what are you going to do if you're on Dacos? I mean, the only thing you can do is probably stay 4 or 5 meters in front of him and then cut it and then go back if you have to. But then you've got Dacos, who's going to fly past you. So now, are you watching the ball? Are you watching Dacos? You know what's going to happen.
So that would have
Other
confused.
teams are going to do this now. Other teams are going to do this now.
So that would have confused the Geelong guy who was on him. I'm not sure who was on him at the time, but that would have confused him. So then Dacos, the set play is Cameron would have tapped it forward. The two midfielders would have ran onto the ball, and Dacos would have been either applying shepherd or get the ball and hand pass it off to him running down the forward line, and you kick it into the goal square. It's a set play. It's nothing major. Clubs do types of set play. That one was just a bit different because Dacos went all the way to the other side of the centre square. That's all.
Yeah,
no one's seen it before.
He opened up the gap. It was good. All right, that was that was interesting.
Can I just say that after a hard-fought game, and well done to Geelong, but what I really, really admired was the culture that McRae has brought to the Collingwood Football Club. Jack missed the ball, missed that goal. Every single player, every single Magpie player went up to him. That form of encouragement, to me, that was amazing. But also full respect to the Geelong players, who they also came up to him to congratulate him, leading by Dangerfield. So, for me, it was like, football is football. And this is where I sometimes say that it's only a game. And I understand it's not just only a game. But to me, it was like, for once the Siren went, they forgot it was a game. It was, it was, we fought hard, and what we did there, it was just, for me, it was just showed some really, really great culture by both teams.
I think the best part about it, I think the best part about it was the fact that Dangerfield didn't even celebrate after he missed it. He didn't even celebrate with his teammates. He just went straight over to the Collingwood huddle where Chris was, and he shook his hand straight away and gave him a hug. I think that speaks volumes of the bloke. I know we bag him and stuff like that, but it's just like.
Can I say something about that moment there, Ryan? I'm going to say something. They're making too much about everyone going up. Everybody does that. If you remember last year, McGovern did exactly the same thing. Every Carlton player got around McGovern. And I'm sure Collingwood players went up to him and said, bad luck, mate, right, after they celebrated, right? So don't everyone's making it like, Collingwood did. Every single team would do that. You would do that. If your teammate missed a goal, you would go up to him and go, don't worry about it, mate. It's all good. Maybe we'll get back into the change room. You'd go a little bit like, what did you do, you fucking idiot? Something like that. But look, it was good. It looked good. But let's be serious, bro. Every single person does that, mate. Like it didn't cure cancer, mate. All they did was they just went there and they consulted. What is it? Consulted. Is it consulted?
Consolidated. Yeah.
They went up to their teammate, and that was it, mate. Manny, go back in last year's game and watch what they did to McGovern. It was exactly the same, mate. What team would not go up to their players and fucking walk off? Come on, man. It wasn't that great. I feel bad for him that he missed, mate. He'd feel shocking, mate. That could be one of the worst feelings for a player to do, mate. You've got that chance and you miss it. But let's not make it more than what it was, bro.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think you missed it. Okay. That's okay.
Anyway, listen, I've got a full board of people here, man.
Yeah, just quickly before I go, Rocco, I know Mark's pissed off at the moment and he's vanished somewhere probably to see his neighbour Gino, but Gino actually came over to my place just before. It's why that's why I was a little bit late on the stream, because the doorbell rang and I put the kids to sleep and stuff, and I ran over and Gino was like, he said to me, he goes, Andreas, I love your stuff on the jumper punch. I'm like, yeah. He goes, I see you've been going to the gym a bit lately, and you're going overseas soon. So I got one of these from him, and he said he got it from his mate Steve. And I don't know what to do, but maybe I'll go have a cold pie afterwards. Anyway, boys.
He's coming.
Yeah, now you're coming back. Love your work, boys, and I'll see you next week. Go the Pies.
Hey, before you go, make sure you get onto his channel, man.
Cold, mate.
That's what Fourever Rivals is about. That's what it's about. Hey, make sure you get onto his channel, Black and White United. He's, I think, about 100 or so away from the ton. Make sure you get on there. If you like his work, subscribe. He's a good man.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one. Cheers.
See you, mate.
See you, Jess.
I love that. I love that. Hey, listen, we've got a but this bloke was first on. He's been waiting. We haven't had him on before. We have got Chef Jack. How are you, my friend?
It's the chef. He's on mute.
G'day, fellas. How is everyone doing here?
Look at those boys. Radio. Hey, there's a bit of feedback there.
Oh, hang on. Wait. I got stereo on. Hang on. Just give me a tick, bro. Sorry about that. Yeah, that should be better.
All right. That's better. Yeah, okay. How are you, Jack? Who do you follow, mate? Who do you follow?
I just put that up there just to make it look good. You know what I mean?
How you going? Before we get on to, while you're there, we're going to get you to talk about the Blues while you're there. Since we got Andreas to talk about, we'll talk about our side. But have you got an opinion about what we were talking about before? Any opinion about any of those topics?
Well, the word. Hang on a minute. Sorry. Yeah, I'm in the submarine, though, Gunners. Yeah, that's right, mate. And or in a tunnel. Well, if you go about the time wasting, I go back to the 80s. Obviously, I'm old school, yeah, like Rocco.
Yeah.
And the My Fitzpatrick decision when they brought in the time wasting back in those days, and the free kick was given against him at that day at Princess Park.
Yes.
So this time wasting is play on. There's no free kick.
No, there isn't.
No free kick.
And you know that day there, that should have just been play on because there is no time wasting.
Yeah,
what's time wasting? You know when an umpire says play on, you don't have to move. You can stay. You can sit on the ground and stay there forever, right? There is no time wasting, right? There is no that decision there. I know it was fucking 20, 30 years ago. That was wrong. That should have been just play on. That's it.
Well, it gets back to this. If you step off your line, that's play on.
Yes, but it's not a free kick.
No, but that's what they had it back then. It was and then they abolished it.
And then that's what they do.
They got rid of it because it was just cost game, this, that, blah blah blah. I mean, Neil Danaher had a field time in the last quarter.
No,
I was right behind the goals. I was right behind the goals on that game. I got this footage of me with my good old Starsky jacket.
You're there with the Carlton crew, I reckon, at the back there somewhere, weren't you?
Well, I'm old school. I started in the cheer squad back in '78, and that's when Reed and Carlo was the official cheerleader. He was the one in the Heatley stand. You hear his voice, and I ended up leaving in, I think it was 88, I think. So I'm kind of lucky, not like the young ones these days. I'm lucky. I was privileged. I was out on the MCG on grand final, all the finals, grand final, with the banner and all that sort of stuff.
We've seen it.
Yeah. He was also at the local games as well. Mr. Peanut Man, poor bloke died of a heart attack.
Apparently, you were one of the
cheerleader. Shut up, Gunners.
I listen.
Smart ass in the chat. You know what I mean? Always.
Yeah,
that's right. Friday. That's all right. I can take it. And by the way, Rocco, I wasn't sooking yesterday, bro. Everyone's just talking over the top of each other. You can't understand what's going on.
That's what I
had you running in the background. Had you running as a night lamp.
We were pretty emotional last night, so there was a bit of a.
That's the first time I've seen. I mean, I usually hear Snapper on the radio, but it's the first time I've actually seen him on your show.
He went off, mate. He went off, and he gave it to a few people too, just quietly. I'm waiting for the call today. But no, he's a good man, Snapper man, passionate, just like all the. But while we got you here, and you can ask him a question. You want to go over the Carlton game while I've got you here?
We go to the Carlton game against Adelaide.
Yeah.
Witches' hats. That's all I can say.
Let's have a look at it as I do.
Absolute witches' hats. You know, we've been playing witches' hats the last couple of weeks, except for Geelong. Now it was our turn.
Hey, Jack, can I?
Rocco Moro, I met him, mate. I met him. I'll tell you what, unbelievable. I had the best view there back in those days, you know, Rocco. When we used to come out, the Bluebirds were out there dancing. We'd bring the banner out. I'll tell you what, I had a good vantage point, man. I'll tell you right now.
Hey, Jack, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So you beat North Melbourne. Actually, no, let me rephrase. You slaughter North Melbourne. You slaughter West Coast Eagles, as it was expected. You've gone out there. I even said it, and I admitted that I said that, you know, Geelong's going to give you a hammering. You went out there. You beat Geelong quite convincingly, right? Now, you can't say that the confidence wasn't there. I know that you guys haven't had much of a good record up in Adelaide, but, you know, I honestly thought that this was going to be the real turnaround.
I kind of agree with Chris Scott. Cats had a bad day. I mean, we played good. Don't get me wrong. We played 4 quarters, but the Cats they were kicking out on the full so many. I've never seen Geelong kick out on the full so many times.
I think it's a big disrespectful that you might say that now, but
we played good. We played 4 quarters.
No, we played good, and that's what put them under pressure. And Geelong came out this week. They fixed their wrongs, and they played a better brand of footy, and they had Collingwood, you know. So let's not take anything away from.
I'm not taking away anything from us winning. No, I'm not taking anything away from us.
That win. That was a good win by us. What upsets me, right, is how do you play that and then don't show up, don't get off the plane for Adelaide? That shows me a sense of like mental weakness. You can't go from there. We spoke to David Rees-Jones on the weekend, and he said the problem is there's too much of a gap from our good to our bad. The gap should be there, not there, right? And that's the problem. You can't do that and that. We'll probably come out and beat the Saints, and they'll probably put paper over the cracks again, you know. But at the end of the day, the gap's too big. The gap's too big, mate. That was that performance by Adelaide. They should hang their heads in shame. All of them.
I've always I speak to a few mates offline and that, and you know we've been around for years on here, and we've always kind of agreed on the same thing. You know, the culture at this club is not nil. It starts at the top. I mean, I don't even know who this president is. Never heard of him. He's based out of Sydney, which is absolute garbage. The board's been like this for years. Even when I was down, you know, because remember I was at the club nearly every day back in the days, and it was different. You know, you had the powerful people there. Yes, I understand. But now it's just a circus. You've got a barrister on the board. What is this? Not football. We got lawyers on the board. You got one footy bloke on the board, and that's Greg Williams. Where are the others? Where are the other footy?
You want to know the truth? I don't agree that Greg Williams should be on the.
I don't agree either. I don't agree either.
He's the only board member ever that gets paid.
Yeah, we had Fraser Brown on the board for a few years. But yeah, I agree with you there for sure. I don't even know what he's doing back at the club, to be honest.
Well, he can't even remember his stats anymore, and it's got nothing to do. Like I love the bloke as he was, but at the end of the day, man, we've got to start doing the right thing by the clubs, man. We should get a proper footy director in there. We should get a president.
Well, that's what I was getting to. I was going to start at the top and go work the way down. Cook's gone at the end of the year. We'll see.
What's answer this? What's Cook doing there while Graham Wright is still there? Then what are they both doing there? How do you call yourself chef? Chef, what do you call yourself? Chef Jack. You must be a chef, maybe, yeah? You can't have too many chefs in that kitchen. Let's be serious. You can have a sous chef, but you can't have 2 chefs.
It's the old saying, it was too hot in the kitchen, get out, right?
That's right.
But look, the Brad Lloyd's been there too long. He got to go. He's part of the problem. He's part of the problem. Let's be honest here, right?
Of course.
I mean, this bloke sits in the coach's box every week. Graham Wright, it'd be interesting to see what he does, because you've got to remember, like I said, the culture at this club's not like it used to be. That's gone. Yeah. So Graham Wright's come into this club.
I wouldn't be talking, Mark, mate. You bet the fucking two bottom sides by 6 points, man. Put your chips down while we're talking before I take you off, because just remember, there might be a boss at Carlton, there might be a boss at Essendon, but the boss on Fourever Rivals, he's got controls. Put the chips down. Keep going, Chef.
What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, Graham Wright. Now,
Sorry, Jack. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. So I'm going to be interested to see when because Graham Wright got a good football brain, yeah, very good football brain. We know that. We know that. Look what he's done at the other clubs, yes. But you've come to us. That's the problem, right? So who controls everything at that club? There's people being tapped on the shoulder. You know, and then it works way down again to this manager's got to go. Agresta and Austin, they got to get out of there. They got to get rid of them. Got to get rid of them.
Because it's a boys' club, man.
I understand that. That's the problem at this club, right? So they got to go, right? They put all the effort just on one player, Jaeger. That's all they did, and then they got two rejects that no one else wanted. So there's your problem right there, straight away, right? So then it gets down to the coaching staff. Tim Clark, why they brought him back, I got no idea whatsoever. The only thing I can think of that Tim Clark came back is his buddies with, he's not there no more, with Luke Sayers, right?
Luke Sayers holding his cock somewhere.
Yeah. So, you know, and you got Hansen there, useless, get rid of him. Powers there. Look, it's just a complete nightmare down there, right? And sometimes I don't even believe Voss is coaching, right? Voss, most of the times, what does he do? No, nothing like Snapper, Lana. When Snapper goes off, he goes off.
Yeah.
Voss stands on the boundary line, crosses his arms, no headphones, no nothing. So what is he doing? What is he actually doing? What is he doing? So someone up on the box is doing all the talking. Yeah? That's the first thing I know is when we started going down to the bench. Right? I might be wrong. I don't know. But no headset on. He's communicating now. If he goes down the bench, you've got Newman down there with a headset. You've got Ebert down there with a headset. What's going on down there? It's a circus.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Jack,
yeah, sure.
Besides all the dramas that's going on at Carlton, were you at the did you go to the 1995 grand final at all? Were you at the game?
Yes. I've been to all even the losing grand finals. I've been to,
so
and obviously the 95 I was there. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How was that? Was it a good feeling being at the game? Or?
What do you think?
What do you think? You at the 2000 grand final, Mark?
So going on that, Jack, do you feel that it's been like 30 years now that you haven't had that success, and do you believe that maybe Carlton are just pretenders, mate, not contenders at this stage of the last, say, 15, 20 years? Is it get to a stage where we can keep on blaming the CEOs and the list management and the players and the coaches, but it's been a good 30 years, mate, since you boys have won a flag, and Carlton are a very big, proud club, yeah? You've got a lot of supporters out there.
Before he answers this, because I know you're sarcastic questioning, right? You're the perfect one to answer this, because it's been 25 years for you and you haven't played a final. So why ask us? Look within yourself, bro.
I'm asking that question. I'm not asking you the question.
If Manny asked me that but I'm not going to take it from you, bro. I'm not going to get you to ask my guest are ridiculous. Look within yourself, eat your fucking potato chips, right?
Yeah.
And answer your own question.
Sorry about asking the
Okay, I'm
question.
happy. I'm happy to answer.
I know
happy
you're
to
fired up. I know you're fired up, Marco.
This is a
I'm happy to
club
answer.
who has not won a fucking flag in 25 years and has not won a final in nearly 8,000 days and wants to dare ask
That's
us.
okay. Finals.
I'm not even going to entertain that question.
I'm talking about grand finals here. I'm not talking about finals.
Yeah, and you're 25 years. What's the difference, bro?
Well, it's 5 years. It's a long time, especially when
shut up, please.
Especially as we're getting
I'm
older
not going to
now.
let you even answer that question.
We're getting
Oh,
older.
that
5 years is a long
Liam,
time, mate.
Have you got a question for Jack, please?
I'm happy to answer. It's a simple answer, Rocco. It's a simple answer. A simple answer. Mate. Easy. We used to buy players. It's gone. Since that happened and since we got done, what's happened to the club?
No,
we can't do it.
There's a lot going on with Carlton. There's a lot to be fixed with Carlton. You know, it's not just play. I think we got some fairly good players, right? But the problem is the outside. Like, it takes more than just some players to be successful, man. You need like off the field, we do great. We celebrate every cause. We help the world. Surprised we didn't fix COVID. We do everything except for winning flags. That's all we can't do at the moment.
Well, good players. Oh, I'd like to have the players back in the day.
They are good, man. They are good, but the problem is it's what we've done around them, man. It's what they've done around. I'll put it to you: those 5 or 6 players would go into any side now. Any side.
All right. Can I ask a question to Jack?
Of course.
Be careful.
Hey, Jack. There's a strong rumor. I don't know.
How do I look? Hang on.
I don't know whether it's
Manny, just 1 minute. Someone said I look like Snapper. Come on, give me a spell. Come on.
Now, my question is,
glasses here. I'll tell you right there. Go on, sorry, Manny.
You're right. Now you're playing against St Kilda this week.
Yep.
Like any side, many sides have got a nemesis, and a little bit of history tells me that St Kilda is probably one team that can be sort of like an irritating pimple. Do you think that maybe these boys are going to try and do something special? Because there's a rumor going around that TDK may be moving to St Kilda next year. That's
not a rumor. It's probably going to be happening.
Right.
But the thing there is he signs for St Kilda for 1.7, 1.8 million, right? Ain't going to win a flag there. Right? Ain't going to win a flag. He stays with us. Ain't going to win a flag since the time his contract will be up or when he retires. Ain't going to win a flag. So what does he do? He goes for the money. That's it. That's about it.
I
I'm not going to win a flag with St Kilda. Trust me.
I disagree. I disagree immensely, right? And this is why I disagree for a couple of reasons. First of all, this 1.7 is not real. That's not happening.
Well, that's what they're saying. 1.7.
It is. They've just overinflated that price. It's not going to happen. He will get over his $1 million mark. He will get it, and he deserves it, right? He's not leaving Carlton. I'll tell you now, he won't leave Carlton to go to St Kilda. Man, that couple of $100,000 a year is not going to make a big difference to him. He's not going, man. He grew up. He won't go. You watch. And he will be
the difference. How do you know he won't go? How do you know? We'll have to wait till the season ends because obviously his manager's behind the scenes. Well, the manager's behind the scenes at the moment negotiating. Trust me.
They're trying to get as much money out of Carlton as possible.
Well, that's what they're going to do. They're going to milk it for all it's worth. I mean, is he worth that much? Is he worth that much? Is he worth 1.8 million?
I reckon at the end of the day,
I don't think he's worth 1.8 million.
No, but again, this 8.1 isn't real, man. No one's giving him 1.8. You're all dreaming, right? I asked this of Mars yesterday. What's he worth, Chef?
He's not worth 1.8. He's not worth 1.8 million. No way.
Forget about the 1.8. Get that out of your head.
I'd give him a million. Yeah, I'll give him a million.
Right,
Yeah.
$1 million. So Carlton will give him $1 million. So if Carlton's giving him $1 million, he's worth 1.2 because everyone else is after him.
That's right. I agree. Enzo, I agree with you, mate. I agree with Enzo down there.
I think that he will get his 1.1, 1.2 with Carlton, and he will stay.
I wouldn't give him more than 1 million. Yeah, correct.
Unfortunately, you might have to give him a couple $100,000 more because I reckon if you're saying he's worth $1 million, another couple of hundred on. You have to get a player out of a club. You've got to pay him a little bit extra. Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But we don't know what his manager behind the scenes is. You know what he's doing. You know.
All right. Yeah.
We'll have to wait to the end of the year to find out whether he stays or goes. That's a bottom line.
Yeah.
We don't know.
At the end of the day, one thing I know, it's going to be a fearsome battle of no score this week because St Kilda's they're going to block everything off. We're not going to be able to kick goals. But the one contest you're going to be looking at is Marshall and TDK. Because I'll tell you one thing about Marshall, he's got some pride. And them talking about taking TDK, right, that's going to hurt him because he's the number one ruckman there, right? That's going to hurt him, man. So he's going to go out there tomorrow, not tomorrow, whenever we play him Friday, and he's going to play fierce. So everyone have a look at that contest there because it's going to be a fierce contest.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the main event, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's going to be the look. The other thing I want to bring up on my side is over the last 10, 15 years, if you can go back, people can call me delusional. I don't really care. I'm more of a realist these days. I don't wear rose-coloured glasses like I used to. We are the best side in the competition to get teams into form. Now, anyone can debate me on this. You just have to go back. We are the best. I mean, we did it last week. That's a perfect example. I mean, Adelaide weren't playing at their best the last 3 weeks, but bang, all of a sudden they whip us.
Yeah.
The other thing that I noticed about our game last week was I have never, ever in my life seen such lazy players. Charlie Curnow, that guy there, if that ball's not handed to him on a platter, he don't give a shit. He'll turn his back and walk away. He can't tackle. He don't chase.
I don't think it's that bad. He did a lot of work up the ground. I don't think it was that bad.
Oh, come on. You go back and watch some of the highlights. You know what I mean?
I don't think he was that bad.
Doherty was my favourite player. Unfortunately, Doherty, time for you to step down immediately and give a kid a go. Elevate someone. I don't care. This sorry and sympathy can go on for years and years. The guy's been through hell. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
You know, I felt for the guy. You know, but sorry, mate. I saw a passage of play there where he was in the open. He had the ball, crossed half back, and kicked it straight to an Adelaide player. I mean,
listen.
The footsteps he took a couple of weeks ago was done for me. When he took those footsteps a few times, that was done for me. He's done and dusted.
The thing is with Doc, it's on the club, it's on the coach. They should have told him to go, right? And Doc is like a racehorse. He's not going to not try if they ask him, he'll go out there, yeah? Because it's like a boxer, man. They never want to retire. They'll try their best, you know. But I put this on the coach and the club. They should have said at the start of the year, mate, we're going to play you in the reserves. You're going to be a teacher in the reserves. You want to be a coach, bada bing, bada boom, and move on and make the decision for him. You know what I mean?
That's what they got to do behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, they got to have a meeting or director of football, whoever, CEOs, whatever, and say, listen, your time's up. Blah blah blah.
No, 100%, man.
And if he was he's a pretty honest sort of a guy. Let's be honest here. He's an honest sort of a guy. He's a good, really. I've met him a couple of times. Really nice guy. Maybe he should come up and say, or go to whoever and say, the coach or whoever, and say, I can't play anymore. It's as simple as that.
But maybe they said to him that, we want you around, and he said, what, if you need me, I'll stay. Who knows? But it's time to make that decision.
the problem we got here is liabilities. They are liabilities every week when they play, right? They are liability. I mean, look, people go on about Motlop, how he gets a game every week. I can understand that. I go back to Ratton. When Ratton was coach, Garlett was averaging 3.6 possessions in 8 games. 8 games was never dropped.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a sort of like a trend with Voss where, look, I watch the twos most weeks. I watched them last week. And there's not really much to get excited. I mean, Boyd, throw him in. You got to throw him in somehow.
We'll see this week.
The rest of the players, you can't get really excited. The Camp Rally brothers, you know, they still need a bit of time. You know, everyone's saying, "Oh, just throw them in." Yes, I mean, I'm all for the kids. I scream for the kids when they put Lord and Bins.
They've got to be ready. They've got to be ready when they come in. You can't just throw them in.
Well, I look at other sides. You know, I look at St Kilda, North Melbourne, or Richmond, and they're playing all the kids. Hawthorn, they're playing all the kids, and they're going fantastic. Geelong, you look at the culture. Yeah, you look at the cultures of these clubs: Sydney, Geelong, Collingwood, even.
But that's about development.
They bite the bullet and throw the kids in.
Yeah, but they're ready. It's about development, and then you go to the next level. And you go, all right, why aren't we developing?
Hang on. I'm even talking first year players here as well, not just whether they're ready. First year players as well. Now, if Jagger didn't get injured, he would be in that side. And he's a first year player. He's a first year player, right?
Yeah, I know, but like you saw, he was already.
Yes.
He looked
Yeah,
like
of course he did. I saw, yeah, but he's still a young player.
Of course.
Right? He's still young, right? They can tire out after like 4 or 5 games. They can get tired, you know, it depends, right? But that's our problem at this club is our development over the last 20 years has been absolute disgraceful down there. I followed some players in the twos over the years that just didn't get it, even after 2-3 years being in the reserves and never had a chance to get a shot. Levi Casbolt was a perfect example. I watch that guy every week in the twos. And for 2 years or 3 years, I know he's a big guy and big players take time. Ratton left him in the twos, and what did he do? He picked that crab Hampson over him. And what happened to Hampson? Absolute crab, that bloke, right? And then all of a sudden, Casbolt started getting games after such a long period of time.
Yeah,
that guy was a bull. Bus packs, this, that, but they didn't put him in earlier. If you know what I'm trying to say here, right?
Hey, Jack.
Well, you could say he was rubbish, Lou, but
Hey, Jack.
they never developed him. That's the problem.
Jack,
They never developed him.
Right? What's your prediction against? What's your prediction against the Kilda?
To be honest, I think we'll lose. They're a bogey side, and it's a Spuds game or whatever this. What's going on? It's a Spuds game, so it's a. What is it? It's for Danny Frawley, isn't it?
Yeah.
Were you laughing at Spud Frawley? Were you?
No, mate. I
don't know, man. It is a Spud game for Spud.
It's for Danny Frawley. It's for Danny Frawley. Yeah. But we lose. We're the Spuds. We're the Spuds when we lose, all right? So what's the bottom line there?
It's about mental
Well,
health.
that's what I was saying, Robert. I was saying the same. That's where they're going to start at the top, work their way down and clean them all up. Just clean. I mean, I know they've knocked off about 3 or 4 people off the board. I know it was like at one stage we had 12 people on that board. 12 people. Believe it? You don't need that many people on a board.
No, they changed it. So they brought it down to a thing. Hey, Jack, I've got a few people waiting, man.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on the panel. Thanks. It's been a pleasure. Good to see everybody. Nice to meet everybody. Everyone. I'll be down the chat.
Make sure you come back.
I might see you down the Sporting Globe, whatever it is, down at North.
It's a big day. We get everyone together, man. All the boys are going to be there, man, and we have a laugh. And win or lose, we do it together.
All right, my shout.
All right, done. Thanks.
No, we'll see you all later. No, thanks for having me on the panel. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I thought I was at the I was jumping on the jumper punch at one stage.
Well, why don't you get your fans to jump on, mate? Like, it's not my fault that your fans don't jump on.
Just you know, just.
Well, what do you want me to do? Like,
Well,
when Collingwood people come on, there's even
No,
Richmond
yeah.
people. There's not one Essendon supporter.
No,
It's like your game's empty.
I've got some. Don't watch it. I don't want to comment.
We've got
Oh, hi.
Liam. Liam, the fucking star. How are you, mate?
Hello, how are you guys?
What's your language there, Rocco? What's your language there, mate?
Yeah, sorry, Liam. Sorry, Liam.
All good, don't
Shouldn't
worry.
swear. How you going, mate? How you feeling about what happened? And
Well, it was a bit of a rough Saturday, but the Sporting Globes was amazing. Of
yes,
course, besides the loss, it was awesome, as well
Yeah.
as SmackDown, WWE, and Sporting Globes. Beautiful, but the game was shocking.
yeah. Were you absolutely surprised on how bad we played?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean, we've seen it before.
Yeah. You didn't think we were going to be that bad, did you? Come on, let's be serious. I mean, they didn't show up.
Not at all.
No. Who?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go for
Rocco.
it. No, go.
I was just going to say that Jack turned around and said that he was expecting you guys to lose, but you'd think that. I mean, and then he said that Geelong didn't perform, but to be honest, Geelong didn't perform because you guys actually shut them down. Now, obviously, I don't know what game Jack was watching, but the fact that you guys beat Geelong, and Geelong's not an easy team to beat, yeah. And to go away with such a great win, I honestly thought there would have been a different ball game when you guys went up to Adelaide. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is at the moment.
We'll see. We're a bit of a Heckle and Jekyll thing. So, to tell you the truth, we've got potential winning the next 5 games.
Yeah.
Like, I could see us winning the next 5 games. Like, I could see it. We're playing that. We got West Coast. We got North. Sydney aren't playing that great, and GWS here.
Yeah, and we'll
And
beat
then what
Essendon.
happened?
4
And then
games
we've
at
got
a time.
Essendon's a win, and then we got Essendon after that. That's 6 games we could win.
4 games at a time. Remember,
Exactly. The next 4 weeks.
next 4 weeks.
Nah.
Oh, boy.
All right, Liam. Hey, you haven't asked a question to your idol there, Liam, upstairs?
Oh,
here.
yes.
You
mate.
haven't said nothing. He's been,
Come on, mate.
Liam's been
He
quiet
didn't
all
speak.
night, mate. He's been
That's
rock and
right.
roll, mate. Look at him. He's ready to fucking give it to everyone here.
Yeah. Well, you know what's kind of shocking? If Richmond win this week, they'll actually be the same points as us. So I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
True.
shocking.
very
But I-
true. Good point.
But I
Yeah,
hope you
mate,
guys
but we've
win.
earned it, mate. We've won our games. We've done a
you're
good
right.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. We were projected to do this good. You guys were meant to be a good team, but I don't know.
Exactly. It's different.
You're not
It's-
looking like a good team, are you? Oh, boy.
Not at
Not
this
at the
point.
moment. Not at the moment, but you know how things can quickly change, Liam.
Yeah.
They
Big
can
time.
quickly change. Eh? So we'll see how we go this week. It's going to be good. At least, are you going? Are you going, Liam?
Yes.
So we'll definitely be there. Unlike Mark and
Manny.
Manny, they don't usually go to games. Mark only went last week because he got a ticket in the box, or else he wouldn't go. And he saw those marshmallows beat fucking North by 2 points. And
Wow.
I can't wait to talk about your game. If you tell me that you walked out happy and you got major injuries, you's a fuck. You'll finish bottom 2. Easily.
Well, the media's actually media's turned around and said that the Bombers are travelling under the radar at the moment, just slowly gathering points. So,
Good point, Manny.
it's like Mark said, he'd rather lose by 160 points than win by 4.
That's right. He did say that last year, so I wonder how he feels about this win. But anyway, you know, Mark, he'll flip and flop. He'll just flip and flop. He won't know what. Yeah, so that's good. Are you going to be at the Sydney catch up?
Yep. I'll be
Yeah,
coming
good.
back. Unfortunately, you won't be there.
No, I know. I'm actually going down to Sydney, so I'll be watching the game live, mate. I'll be giving it to that Swan. If I see that bloke, if I see that big mascot, I'm going to jump on him, man. I did it to the West Coast, and I almost was able to grab the Crows one when I was there, but they wouldn't let me get near him. But I actually gave the West Coast Eagle, I gave him a jumper punch when I was there, and I'll fucking do it to the Swans too, mate.
Yes, Rocco.
You're a star, Liam. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you, Rocco.
And what's your prediction this week? Come on.
We'll win. I got
by how many?
Probably around 5 points.
I like it.
Yeah.
Another heartache. I'll take 5 points against that fucking mob, mate. God, I hate the Saints, man. Anyway, thanks, man.
You happy, Rocco?
Thank you.
You'd rather lose by 160 points than win by 4.
I know. Apparently, that's the new rule. That's the new. Hey, say hi to everyone. Say hi to your mum, to your brother. Apparently, your brother's a really good tennis player. Is this true?
Yeah.
He is.
Trains a lot.
Marzi boy told me we could be seeing him in the Australian Open. I'm pretty excited. Tell your brother, man, we'll be backing him all the way, mate.
We front row all of you if he does.
Oh, that's it, really front row. I love it. With the Carlton gear. With the Carlton gear.
Yeah, Carlton.
Thanks, Liam. Love you, mate.
You,
speak soon.
We'll do. See you all.
See you, mate.
Oh, what a third.
All right, what I'm going to do is we will get to your games now, but I want to bring in one person while we talk about your games. I don't know who this bloke is. Let's have a look. Belgium lives matter. Belgium lives matter.
Bulgarian lives matter.
Bulgarian, sorry.
Wow.
He's back. What happened to him?
Get him off.
What happened to him?
Get on to the next game and get him back on after that.
Do Bulgarian lives not matter then?
Bulgarian. Oh, wait a sec. He's back. Something's happened. Wait, we're going to get him back. Here he is. He's back. He's back. He's back. There he is.
Wow. Hello, Rivals.
Hello.
Hello to everyone. I'm back.
Where have you been, Scotty?
Where have I been? Before I say anything, I would like to give a big thank you to the Jumper Punch family for all the kind words whilst I was on my sabbatical. Manny, I thought it was kind of cute that you actually believed that I was actually that fucking upset about some dumb shit that you would have said. But it was all a little social experiment to expose you as the fraud that you are.
He actually, you know, Scotty, he actually apologised last week to you.
Actually, I didn't catch any apology from Matty, but I did catch him talking shit about my mum.
Yeah, I saw that.
The only thing that didn't get past me, Matty.
No, not at all, Scotty.
When a bloke isn't in the room on StreamYards with you, you'll talk shit about his mum behind his back. And then now you get called back. No, I didn't say that.
I know that she's probably got the hots for me. And that's okay.
Mate, she's into human thumbs then maybe.
No. But I would never say anything bad about anybody's mum. Believe me. But,
what you said last week was very disrespectful, Matty. And we know about your attitudes towards women.
You look a bit like Scotty. You look a little bit like Scotty Tompkins.
No shit. It's me, Scotty Tompkins.
Is it?
Do I been closer to Bailey Smith there, mate?
Do you know why I got this on? Do you know why I got this money?
Why? What did you get it?
Why? That is
one of these,
It gives a bit of a buzzer. It gives a bit of a Bailey Smith finger.
Oh, is that Bailey Smith? Hey, g'day, Bailey. How are you, mate?
So
Manny's lost.
Manny's lost, eh? No, it's good that you're back, man. We've missed you, man. I know you've been hard at work. You actually helped get this government into power. Well done.
Yes, I did my part. I was working at the Outpost Centre here in Warragul. We actually got to process the votes from Northcote, which we had to chuck most of them out because I don't think any of them could even write number 1 on their ballot.
Northcote didn't count, did it?
Not the beautiful suburb of Northcote, nah. But don't worry. Patriots are in control. We got him in. We got.
He's free. I think he's got the same internet as you, Mark.
The one time the internet's shit, it's when I come back, bro. Give me a second.
One thing, Scotty, we all tend to not talk about is politics, religion, and AFL footy, mate.
What our show there? We can't talk about that.
Man, Marcus, if you want to avoid talking about AFL footy, gladly step aside because, I mean, you've done pretty well in this show since I've been gone. I mean, you got your cock out and everything, but keep the footy talk to the pros, mate.
Oh, right. Yeah, the professionals, the ones that got knowledge about football.
Hey, can you just let Mark how should he feel about beating the two bottom sides by a total of 6 points? How should he feel there? Bulgarian Lives Matter. What do you reckon about that effort?
It's pretty piss poor, mate. I mean, they should have lost by at least 200 points because that's what makes you feel better about your side, not actually winning games convincingly.
Yeah. Oh well. Where are you guys sitting on the ladder, mate? At the end of the day, most important thing.
Oh boy,
have you seen plenty of time? But at least we don't fucking just beat our sides. And actually, they should have won both teams. And you've got a whole bunch of injuries.
Could have, mate.
Hey, we beat West Coast by 10 goals. We almost beat North Melbourne by 100 points.
Every team has beaten West Coast by 10 goals plus.
Yeah, as Bruce would say, sensational. Wow.
Delicious. Hang on. But yeah, I mean, I did have a couple of subjects I wanted to cover tonight, but I think they might have been a bit too cerebral for one of the members on our panel. I didn't want him freaking out again, so I might leave it till next week. Yeah, I did have some questions for Liam about country footy in WA, but I think I'll leave that to next week as well. All I wanted to say is thank you for all the kind words. Rocco Moro, Carls, Robert Galicchio, Seba, you're a gun. I love all of you. All the hundreds of Jumper Punch faithful that came up to me at games to ask me how I am. I love you all. That's all I want to say. I'll bounce and let you guys get on with it.
Love you, Scotty. We'll see you. Are you going this week?
Fuck no.
You're going to come. Come on. Come down. We'll get you into the bar.
I'll be working late. Yeah. All right.
He lives 2 hours away, mate. You live fucking half an hour away. You don't go.
Yeah, I drive 300 Ks each way to get to the fucking games, Matty. Every single weekend.
Every weekend.
Yeah, you look heartbroken.
Yeah.
Wait. I've got to ask him then, Manny.
Is this the face of a heartbroken man?
Let Liam speak.
Go, Liam.
Yeah, no, just to double check because a few people think that you're Gunners in the chat. Is this true or not?
No, I've no aliases.
I've said it.
There's only one. Scotty Tompkins and Bulgarian Lives Matter.
Bulgarian Lives Matter. I love it. There is only one, Scotty.
We'll
talk to you soon, mate.
Love you all. Fuck the filth, fuck the scum, fuck the Tigers, and up the fucking Blues.
Forever! I love it. All right.
That's 30 years of frustration.
You'd probably only be 30 years old, mate.
Well, he's probably not. Anyway, good to see you back there, Scotty. Say hello to your mum. Tell her thank you very much for the Lamington cake she sent me the other day, all the way from country Victoria. And it's good to see that you got your headband around your head. Keep that brain intact.
They reckon the Tiger Mars reckons his TV is great because the comments cover your head. That's the best, mate. Yeah, because usually the comments are on the side. That's the best, man. Like I might get that TV so I can cover your head. Here we go. We got another one. What are you doing sleeping?
Fuck. This is all you get this week.
All
right.
Who's
that? Who's that?
Fuck, call me a spud. Look,
Where?
it's like a stop sign.
Hey, that looks like a
stop sign.
Hey, that looks like a cannoli with beard.
You look like a souvlaki that's been sitting out for 8 weeks.
That's right. Plenty of tzatziki. Plenty of
How's it going,
tzatziki.
Liam? How are you, Liam?
The end is near. Oh my God.
Hi, mate.
How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. Carlton's fucked.
We know that.
Don't worry, mate. The Gunners are going to do it for you tonight.
We'll be right, mate.
Poor eyes.
All right. Listen, what we're going to do is while we got you there, I want to go into, because we've got some other games to get through. Let's go into oh my God. All right, if you want to talk about this game, Jesus Christ, there was 9-11-65 to 9-8-62. There was there's whoever that player is that Martin? Pumping the fist. I'm sure Mark was pumping the fist after being in North Melbourne by 3 points. But yeah, Mark, tell us about your game.
These are actually fantastic, boys. Absolutely beautiful. Pascal marshmallows from Coles or discount.
Right, we're back on shop.
Anyway, we're back on, boys. Look. Obviously, the show's been going a bit too long now with this Carlton Collingwood show tonight, but I was at the game. It was close to nearly 40,000, which I was quite surprised to see on a Thursday night. So
inflated.
At one stage, I was there about half an hour before the game, and it was completely empty. And it was good to see the crowd just come along and watch the game. So we got off to a very good start. It's the way teams should be playing, kicking 6 goals in the first quarter against 2 goals against the Kangaroos. But they did come back. They did come back after the first quarter, and I was starting to get a little bit worried about where we're going from here. And we started going backwards. We started over possessing the ball and hand passing an extra to a player and turning it over. So I started getting a little bit stressful up until third quarter, and then I noticed that we had. I think we had like 3 on the bench at one stage. We had 3 injuries. Ridley, obviously Gresham, and there was another player out there that got injured as well. So Jones, dislocated ankle. So we had 3 players on the bench, and we fought it out. Kudos again to our captain, Zach Merritt. The last quarter was fantastic. If it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't have got the points. But a couple of players to mention again. These are young players. Mate Caddy, 2 goals, 2 presented all night. Kayo, I think he's just resilience to just had some really good runs throughout the forward line. Archie Perkins kicked 3 goals, pretty consistent through most of the game. I will bring up an old fella, Todd Goldstein. Goldstein, yeah. Mate, 37 years old. We've got no ruckman. He was just persistent. He was just persistent all night. Gave it his all. Kept on running. Obviously, Peter Wright covered a little bit for him, but it's good to see him, experienced ruckman, to be honest, to be still in our side, which is fantastic. And also Westerfield, tackling, unbelievable. The last probably 3 to 4 weeks, his tackling has been awesome. I think he's ranked number 5 at the moment with just the average of games played. So Setterfield, a bigger kind of midfield has helped us through the evening as well. But it's obviously wasn't the best game of football to watch. Things went our way, and I think getting those 4 points is the most important. seeing that the competition is quite close. I think we're only one game and percentage out of top 5, top 4, top 5. So it is what it is. We could have been 1-4, but we're 4-3. We're still one game behind the competition, mind you guys. Yeah, everyone else has played 8 games. We've only played 7.
Who you got this week?
We got Sydney this week at home, and we'll talk about that throughout the tips. But we've got Sydney at home this week. We're playing not good football, but the thing is we get the 4 points, and that's what matters to me. We get the 4 points. If we can, kind of get some momentum going and playing at least 3 quarters of football, then God knows, mate. Look, it happens every year. We've got some players coming back this week, and I'll go through that when we do our tips. So, we're not playing good football, but we've got 16 points, mate. Better than what Carlton's got, what Richmond's got, and like what I said, mate, Collingwood, they're only 2 games away, and they're starting to rest their players now. So be it. It's a close comp.
Did you hear that guy? He's comparing Essendon.
He's using us as a measuring stick.
He just compared Essendon to Collingwood. He just compared beating North by 2 points to they're just behind Collingwood.
Okay, you guys bet Geelong and Collingwood. You guys bet Geelong by fucking 5 goals, and Geelong bet Collingwood. So don't go about it. Every week's different, mate.
Your percentage is like under 90, and you just bet the 2 bottom sides in consecutive weeks by a total of 6 points, bro.
Okay,
and
bro.
if you want to know the truth, I watched that game, right? You got absolutely fucking handed the game by the umpires. You should have got beaten there. You absolutely. I'm going to be serious here, mate, because you hear us talk about Carlton. When we play bad, we give it to it, mate. We let you know that we're not happy. We weren't happy when we beat West Coast by 80 points. You're seriously saying to me you are happy with that performance?
I didn't say that.
I would be scathing of your side if I was there at the moment.
We're not playing good football.
Not playing good. What you did was a
disgrace. We're getting the 4 points, mate. And that's the thing.
You're a disgrace, mate. And you got another 2 injuries.
Correct. We have got players coming back. But
and you're happy. That's why you haven't won a final in 7,000 days, because you're happy with that.
Another 7,000 days, mate. It doesn't matter. It was all about winning a
flag.
You're
happy.
So just be mindful. We're not playing the best football. But there's going to come a time when we do get it together. We have got a list there. When you're a young team, we have got a list there that can play some good competitive football against the big teams. And we're just not getting that structure going at the moment. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, we are still winning games. We have got 4 points on the table. So whatever you bozos want to say about we're shit, we're not shit, the proof is in the pudding. We've got 16
It's not about that, Mark. It's about being honest. Like when you see a performance, like you're playing 2 sides that their percentage is like at 50 and 60, and you're barely getting over the line. You are just barely above the bottom 2 sides.
Correct.
Don't act like you're anything more than that. I would be scathing of your side.
Mark, I've got a question.
Scathing.
I've got a question for you. Do you genuinely think your midfield is good? No, I'm not trying to be a smartass. Do you genuinely think your midfield is good?
Our midfield is quite good. I wouldn't say it's elite. But
I personally think it's midfield subpar. Barring Zach Merritt.
Oh, Zach Merritt is the only one. Who else have they got?
Well, even your back line too. And like again, I'm not sitting here trying to be a smartass too. Look, I can't talk. Our team's fucking shit. I know it. So it's no different. But these are the same questions I ask of my team. Are we really that good? Do you think you're really that good? Like in terms of your back line and your midfield, which is probably your 2 main things.
Seb, what it comes down to, it all looks when you look at Carlton's list or the players on the list there, it looks quite good. It's all about it's about names. And when you look at our back line, And there's players that we're paying big money for, like Mackay and all that. But when you look at it on paper, you look at it and go, they're actually not too bad. You've got Mackay, you've got Ridley, you've got Redman, you've got McGrath. So they're all names, yeah. But they're not performing. And it's like Carlton. You've got a whole list of these players. When you look at it on paper and you go, but Carlton should be beating most of these teams.
But we're honest about it, Mark. We are honest. You listen to our show. We are honest about it. You're saying, you just said to me that you're just behind Collingwood. You're only 2 games behind Collingwood. You're that far. You know what you are? You're like a racehorse. You're that far behind that you think you're in front.
Mate, at the end of the day, as you know, as a fanatical supporter, you support your team. So it's a fact. It's not a bullshit comment, mate.
Not about support. I don't support my side. I don't support my side. Is that what you're saying?
So that's what we do. We support our sides.
Oh, right, but it doesn't mean you're not honest. It doesn't mean
you're always going to have faith.
Mark, you know,
faith is a word you use. Faith is a word you use when you've got no evidence, right? Don't give me this word faith. Right? Don't give me this absolute rubbish. You've got to be honest of where you are, or else you will never move forward.
You know who else in your team? He just bewilders me. He is the epitome of a tampon. Who is it? 2 meter Peter. He could genuinely be one of the laziest forwards I've ever seen play the game. He's lazy.
Oh, mate. Look,
but he didn't. But the thing is, you look at North Melbourne's backline, right? And look, again, it's not to. I'm not trying to be a smart ass, right? But what did he kick the week before? Was it like 5 or some dumb amount? Yeah. You look at Melbourne's backline. Their backline is fucking atrocious. Who they got? Combin. And I don't even know the rest of them. They all need name tags. If I'm you and I'm sitting there on Friday night or Thursday night, whenever it was, if I was you and I was sitting there and I'm watching this bloke labour up and down the field like a fucking idiot, I'm ripping into him. The whole game, I'm ripping into him. He was now, I watched that game from start to finish, back to front, because I had a bet on Merit for 35, right? So I watched the game with just analysing everything, but fuck me, he was genuinely atrocious.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the thing, and that's the thing with you guys.
You can also say this guy's come back from a massive shoulder reconstruction.
I do, but then the thing is,
a player like that needs to have his arms above the ball to take the
look. I understand that. I understand that, but then it begs the question that I do understand. Yes, it's obviously he come off a shoulder reco. It's not an easy thing to come back from. But then it begs the question: if he's not fully ready to be playing week in, week out, he's just a hindrance to your team.
It could be so. But don't forget, he's also going to take away one of the opposition's one of their best backmen, and that will allow now Langfords and the caddies to try and get involved. And that's what's been happening in the last few weeks.
I understand. But I think personally, your forward line works better with just Langford and Caddy.
Well, Langford's just come off another injury as well.
But Langford's your best forward. Langford's your best forward.
I don't think he's our best forward. He's more of a small kind of mid. He was playing on a wing on a weekend, mate.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. He was playing up and down the ground. And I'm sitting there. What the fuck are you doing with him? It's probably your most accurate shot at goal too.
Correct, and that's what probably the last 5-6 years, even probably since Lloyd's left, Essendon haven't got that focal forward anymore. They haven't got that dangerous.
He's just sort of been in the same position as Collingwood.
Hey, Mark, can I ask a question?
That's why I wouldn't mind have got that from Richmond and Tom Lynch. He would have been perfect at Essendon, mate. He would have been perfect.
Mark, fair enough.
Mark, quick question. Now, in terms of you're out of the 8 because of the percentage, yeah? Because your points, you got the one team that's in the 8th position that's on the same points as you, right? But to be fair, all right, put the points away for a second. Do you believe that you at the moment are a team that can be in the 8 and is good enough to be knocking on the door of playing finals football?
No,
Honestly.
I've never said that, Manny. I've never said that we have. I said we're playing shit football, but we're winning and we're getting the points, and that's handy because
It is
if
important.
if we do start getting some form of form going and playing consistent football, then anything can happen, mate. In 5 weeks, it's
Yeah.
round 8, mate. Everyone's already jumping the gun by saying round 8, Collingwood's going to make the 8. You know. Look at Essendon. Look at Carlton last year, mate. Essendon were top 4 after.
Look,
So
the advantage.
the way it is.
The advantage that Collingwood has, is that the
They've
fact
been there
that
and
we're
done it.
the fact that we're sitting where we're sitting at the moment
Yeah.
gives us an opportunity to sit there and say, you know what, we can rest a few of our players because it's a long season.
Well,
But you know what it is too, Manny?
It's been too fucking cocky, mate. You guys are
You know
too
what it is?
cocky.
But
And
know
I'll
what
tell
it
you
is,
what,
Manny?
It's not about cockiness.
No,
It's not
but
about
Mark, I don't
cockiness.
think it's him. I don't think it's him being.
It's not
cocky.
cockiness because
I
what we
think
did was we slapped your ass so hard Anzac Day that your assholes were beaming overnight. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is that you can't compare Collingwood at the moment and Bombers. You guys are 2 different levels.
Collingwood are
right?
starting to rest their players now.
What I'm saying is that we can afford like this week. We're preserving our players, and we can afford to do that. We can afford to do that at the moment.
After round 8. Oh, okay.
But you know what the thing is, Mark, too?
Just to interfere because this is a lot of shit talking going on at the moment here. At the end of the day, listen, I fucking hate Collingwood more than fucking death itself, right? But I know exactly what they're doing, mate, right? Because they would have had a plan before the year. It doesn't matter who they're playing this week, right? They would have had a plan when to rest Pendlebury. They would have had a plan when to rest Jordan DeGoey. Not Gordon, Jordan. Yeah, they would have had a plan and they're sticking with it, right? It's not about, they're playing Fremantle. This is about they've got a plan already set out when they're going to rest them. They're not going to play him against fucking Fremantle. It's actually in Fremantle, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, so they're not going to fly him out. They would have had this plan. That's what good sides do, mate.
And you know what the thing
All we're
is, too,
saying
Rocco?
to you, Mark, is I know you're trying to at least but there's a way to get your 4 points, and there's a way to know. Like, you're acting like, just take the 4 points, right? Because we've got this game style, mate. To be seriously, the good sides have punished you, and you've barely bet the 2 bottom sides, mate. You should be scathing now of this side.
What side are you talking about? Collingwood?
Collingwood absolutely made you look like fools.
Doesn't matter what they made us look like 2 weeks
ago. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
You're telling me that they plan to, mate.
Of course they planned when to rest their players.
They didn't win the flag last year, did they, Collingwood? Did they win the flag?
What's got to do with it? They're planning.
You're telling me that they're preparing for next year because they're going to be up there.
Mark,
because they know that Pendlebury and Saigon Mark. They know that Pendlebury and Sidebottom are at an age where they're not going to play every game. So what you do is you plan for it.
Wait, but I posed
what do you think that good sides don't plan for it? What? I don't get what world you live in, Mark.
But Rocco, you posed the question, right? Now, roles reverse. If Essendon's sitting where Collingwood is and Collingwood's sitting where Essendon is, and as much as I fucking can't stand these pricks, if I'm a Collingwood supporter, I'm sitting there and I'm not shitting bricks. I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? We've been there, we've done it. We know what it takes. We've got the cattle, we've got the crop, right? Now, on the flip side, they can afford to rest their players. And you know what? They've probably got enough, if not, they can win. It wouldn't surprise me if they win tomorrow. I've tipped them. It wouldn't surprise me if they win tomorrow. Genuinely, it wouldn't surprise me. They've got enough there.
But they do travel well.
And you know what? That'll probably be if they and that's correct. They do travel well. And this is the thing about Collingwood. This is they know their system is that good that they know no matter what, even if you take here out, the next people are going to come in. They're just playing to a system. They don't need to. You've got your leaders there. You got your Nick Dacos. You know, you got like all these players. They play to the system. And this is the thing, like I said, them resting those sort of players, it doesn't, to be honest, it doesn't really matter.
I don't think it stresses them out. And to tell you the
Essendon,
truth,
Essendon is our bunnies.
anyway, listen, we'll move on because Paul Liam wants to talk about his side, but we'll move on to that. But all I want to say is everyone to their own. If you're satisfied with that, mate, who am I to say don't be satisfied, man? That's it. Because in this world, we've got to have realists and we've got to have dreamers. And you know what? If that's what you're happy with, that's fine. But I know for a fact, not only my footy side, in my life, in everything I do, I'm a realist. And I know when things don't go well, man, I've got to be real about it or else I'm not going to move forward. But some people are just happy just to sit there and dream. Like some people are happy to have faith. I have faith. I have faith. Have as much faith as you want. Have as much faith as you want. But just remember this. Faith is the word you use when you've got no answers. Because if you had answers, you will not have used that word. Right? It's as simple as that. If I say to Manny now, because he's the only one that's like in the top 4 there, if I say to Manny now, tell me why you think you're going to win and that, he wouldn't say, I've got faith in him.
No.
He'd give you, not him because he doesn't know footy, but black and white would say because of this, and this.
Hang on. You're insulting me.
Yeah,
You're
I
insulting
know,
me.
that's what I do. Manny. Don't get offended.
No, but you know what I'm saying? No,
Right.
I'm not getting offended. But you're right, though. The reality is that we're resting those 4 players, one of them because of an injury, but the other 3, we're resting them, right? And that's what I was saying to Mark, that we can afford to do that right now. Whether it was a plan of attack was, you know what, we've got to preserve these players, but we're in a position right now where we're a lot happier. As Seba said, you'd rather be where we are now and resting these players than rather be, say, where Essendon is and resting those players.
You know, I agree. You want to know the truth? You want to know the truth? We can't rest any players. I'll tell you right now. No, there's no chance.
But we were in that position a couple years ago, if not last year, where we had the chance to rest players like Cripps and stuff, and we didn't. And we were calling for this.
And then it cost us because they got injuries.
100%. And this is why this is again. And as much as I fucking can't stand them, Collingwood is a proper football club. They know what they're doing.
Giving them praise.
Thank you, Seba.
Seba, I don't like to, but
yeah, my friend says hello to you.
There he is.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, listen, while you're there, there was another fucking shit side playing there. Hawthorn 16-13, 109 to and I'm talking about Hawthorn, they're shit. Playing our Fourever Rivals 6-8-44. What a game.
Not what a game. Nah. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about it too much. Hey, it was probably our worst performance of the season. I know we were probably expected to lose by that much, but it was the way that we went about it that was just hard to watch. The effort looked like it wasn't there. We didn't look like having any signs of making any good attacking plays at all day. When we had the ball, we wasted it so often. Our pressure was non-existent for a lot of the day. It was a tough watch. I'm struggling to pick out positives, really. I mean, I thought like Taranto tried hard through the midfield. I thought Luke Traynor was still really good down back. I don't really know what else to tell you. It was good. Hey, it was a tough watch. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was a good game. I know the result is probably what people would have expected, but it's how we played that's frustrated me.
Exactly.
Especially going into a good matchup. Like we've got West Coast and we've got North Melbourne coming up, 2 games we should be looking at winning. I would have liked us to have come in off a better performance, coming in with a bit more form. But
you think you do a better performance at Essendon against North and West Coast? We
got West Coast first. We should be. We need to go into those games with confidence. I think. Yeah, obviously, yeah. The game that we've just had wasn't great, but if you're taking the first 8 weeks of the season, yeah, we're playing better footy than West Coast. We're playing better footy than North Melbourne. We need to go into those games with confidence, and we need to go in and win them. And
You know
I
what?
think we are going to beat them.
Liam, the young tacker, and you know him, don't you, Seba? Liam said that if you win, you're going to be on the same points as Carlton. For fuck's sakes, who would have thought that at the start of the year?
If you guys win, I know we'd be close to you guys. We'd be close to Essendon. It's that's what I mean. Over the whole of the season, you got to take the positives, but if you're going on just that Hawthorn result, that was pretty disappointing. But I'm pretty confident going into this week. I'll say that much. I think we can do better than a 3-point win.
What's this ladder look like at the moment, Rocco?
What's that?
What's the ladder looking like in terms of? I mean, at least Carlton's got a not bad
Let's have a look at it while we're there, mate. Let's have a look at it.
Oh, go on then.
All right. So you've got the Brisbane Lions. You know what? They're going to be a tough team to beat. I mean, I know Collingwood did not a bad job on them, but look, Hawthorn, they're there, and they're going to be playing finals football this year. I can tell you that much. And you know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to be, go out on a limb by saying this, but I reckon that the way the top 8 is sitting at the moment, I reckon that's the way it's going to finish. I know it's a long season, but at the moment, that's the way I see it. Now, the Magpies are second. We are right, Rocco. We're sitting in the 8 there. And, of course, Essendon just outside of the 8 by percentage. So, you know what? The Bombers are slowly picking up those points. You'd rather lose by 160 than win by 4. And, of course, you got Carlton and Tigers who are, at the moment, they're just purring. They're just purring. It's going to be a long season. Long season.
Oh, look, to tell you the truth, if you want to be honest, like Collingwood will lose this week. They go probably 6th or 7th. And the next 2 weeks they could lose. And then all of a sudden they're back to the thing. I mean, you could easily lose to Fremantle and all of a sudden you lost 2 and 3 in a row. So as good as you are going, no one gets too confident here, man. A couple of injuries. Look at Essendon, man. I'm without joking about this, man. Yous have picked up major injuries now, man. And long-term injuries. Like this is not going to be
bad
good
injuries. Bad injuries.
And you can see us all there. We're all happy. Look at us. We're all except for Mark, he's up there. But the rest of us
why are you guys all happy? And we're the only team that won on the weekend, mate. What's going on here? You Rocco, you're happy. Liam's happy.
Because seriously, because that's how an Essendon supporter should be. He should be upset at that performance.
But we won.
As long as you're happy with that. Actually, I want you to answer that question, Scotty. No, sorry, Liam. The question from Scotty, what was it?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, he asked has the goalposts moved for us, like as the expectations change. The answer is yes. I think it is. Like you, I am real about where we're at, and I was kind of look, we're probably going to finish down the bottom this year. That's the realistic. But now we've got 2 wins. I think we're going to get our 3rd on the weekend. Put that spoon away. I don't think we're getting the spoon. I said if we go out and beat West Coast, North Melbourne next week, that's 4 wins. That's pretty good. Could be on the same as some other teams in here. So
they're not winning the spoon, Mark.
But I think we're better than where teams rated us at the start of the season. Where we were rated at the start of the season, I think the young fellas that have come in have clearly shown a lot of class of where we're at, and we're going to keep building. We're going to get better as the season goes on, as these guys start playing more football together. That's all it is. So, I think expectations have definitely changed for us.
Yeah, I think in reality, West Coast are a Monty for the spoon, for sure.
Honest, they're a fucking rabble.
Yeah, they're a rabble. So imagine only beating them by 3 points. Where would you be if they've lost the plot and you can only beat them by 3 points? But anyway, that's part of it. You want to do? I'll put up if anyone wants to jump on, I'll put on the thing.
I'll head off. I'll let someone else jump in.
Yeah, or if you want to stay on at the moment, we're going to do tips, but up to you.
All right. If someone jumps in, let me know, and I'm happy to scoot off.
All right, done deal. All right, let's do the tips, and we'll go through them. What do you reckon, guys?
Yeah.
Not excited.
All right, this is your job here, Liam. Let's start. First free game.
What have we got first? Oh, great.
Your graphics
every week. All right.
Like the graphics,
This looks nice, mate.
Did you do it,
Right,
Rocco?
first game.
I did that.
Nice.
Nice. Get him a job, mate. Nah, look.
Take him out.
I said get him a job, mate.
No, it's good. It's good. I thought I'd get some new graphics up because I want.
You can teach an old man new tricks.
That's it, man. Yeah, so let's go through it.
Well, first game tomorrow night over here, Optus Stadium, Fremantle versus Collingwood. I can't trust Fremantle anymore. I don't care how many out Collingwood have. They're a better team. They're going to win. I'm tipping Collingwood.
Yeah, I was going to say that the way the Sekilda, the way they shut that first 2 quarters, I mean, the Dockers look pretty average. I mean, I know a week is a long time. I mean, we've got a 5-game turnaround. They've got a 6-day turnaround. But, we've got Jeremy Howe that's coming back. We've got Ed Allen that's playing. We've got Lockie Sullivan coming back. And we've got the famous moustache, Oleg Markov, coming back. So, you know what? It's exciting that we're resting players and we're bringing in some premiership players. So, you know what? Happy days at the moment. I think we're going to beat Dockers by 4 goals.
Nice. Marco?
Yeah. Obviously, we can see that Collingwood are arresting 4 of their geriatric old players there. And I think this shows a little bit of disrespect to the Fremantle players. So I think they're going to respond to that. And I think Freo will beat Collingwood this week by 4 goals.
I actually I agree with Mark for the first time in my life. You see teams respond after a real bad performance, and Fremantle kind of struggled to come over there. So I think over there, Fremantle will win this. They'll come back and win. But I think it's going to be another close game. I don't think Collingwood will let any side get away too far. Next one.
Boom. Next one. The big game, mate. St Kilda versus Carlton. Friday night footy at the MCG. Nah, I kind of want to tip the Saints because every time I tip them or tip against them, I get it wrong. But surely your Carlton boys get the job done. I'm going to tip Carlton.
Like it. No, I think we'll win this week. I'm telling you, we're that sort of side. We'll come out and win this week. You watch. We'll beat the Saints. And it's at the G. And Marvel, I would have been a little bit more worried. But at the G, I think the open spaces. I think it's going to be low scoring. You know the way Shaquille play.
Roadblock FC. They're just roadblock FC.
Roadblock. They're just going to block us. And as I said, what I'm looking for is that ruck contest. It's going to be fucking fascinating, man. He's a big boy, Marshall, man, and he's going to come up. And I want to see TDK because Mars talked about it yesterday. I want to see him respond to the way he got monstered around. I want to see a response this week. So Carlton for me. Manny?
Sorry, Manny.
Carlton.
Mark?
Yeah, I think you hit the head on the snail on that one there, mate, Rocco.
The head on its nail.
If it wasn't Marvel, mate, I think I would have gone the Saints if it was at Marvel, but obviously you guys are playing at the MCG. So for me, being at the MCG, it's the flip of the coin for me tonight, boys, for St Kilda versus Carlton. Here we go. Now, it is a heads. So that would be the Saints for me on Friday night, isn't it?
Friday
Yeah.
night. Yeah, last
Ooh.
Friday night game.
Big game
Okay.
Friday night. So secure it for me, guys. Flip of the
I'm
coin.
going the draw.
You're gonna go draw. Fuck.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be. I reckon it'll be very close. It's going to be a draw.
Mate.
This
First
could be
draw.
the Alex Marcoux Shield, the Kenny Sheldon trophy. Yeah.
I thought it was Spud's game. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
There's a
It
bunch of
is
spuds on
actually
everyone else.
the Danny
Serious
Crawley
fellas.
game. It is actually for that. So, yeah. Next one.
Saturday games: Melbourne versus Hawthorn. Melbourne have looked a little bit better, but they haven't played the best teams. Hawthorn probably should be getting the job done in this one, so I'll stick with Hawks.
Yeah.
Same. I'm going Hawks. Melbourne, again, they're a bit like us. They're a bit all over the place. Hawks, they're a good football side. They'll come back and win this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Hawkers for me. Hawkers for me.
Yeah, Hawthorn.
Oh, nice and easy there. I like it. All right. All right. Let's get into the next three. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Some difficult
Essendon
games here to
versus
tip.
Sydney. I think this one's at Marvel. I don't know. Do we trust Essendon? I don't. Do we trust Sydney? A little bit more. I'll tip Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Sydney also. Yeah. And those two injuries, really, I think they're going to cost you big time, man. You're running out of you're running out of cattle. But anyway, Sydney. But Sydney, I don't trust either. But Sydney for me.
Yeah, no, got you guys backed against Essendon last week, and we got the 4 points. But again, it comes down to beat interstate sides at home. So you've got to beat these teams. We have got some players coming back through the reserve as well, but through injury. Quickly, just Jay Caldwell will be back in the side. Well, might get picked. Dylan Shield, Matt Rolfe, Nick Cox, Alwyn Davey, Sada Hawley, and hopefully we might debut Hayes, number 18 for the Essendon Football Club. I think he might take Ridley's position from the injury last week. So we've got a few players to choose from, which is a good sign, even though we've been injury prone. And I think we're going to give the Sydney Swans a bit of a run Saturday twilight, and Essendon will win by 5 goals.
I reckon you get. I reckon you get porked by 10 goals. To be honest,
Sydney's going to come back hard, man.
I reckon they'll win by like 10 goals.
Well, again, if you look at the form, man, you look at.
I don't know
like,
why. I just think that they'll win by 10 goals. I can
Who's going to
just
win by
see
10
it.
goals?
Sydney. I can just see it.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be a smart ass, but I can just see it.
I agree.
Sydney are that type of team.
Okay. Yep.
Oh,
Liam's giving it to you. He just named all the spuds.
oh boy.
Be careful, Liam.
Cop that, nice. Oh boy.
All right, next game.
We'll move on then. I think this is the one in Darwin where all Willie Rioli's mates are. So be careful, Bulldogs boys. But no, it's an interesting match, I tell you.
Give him 3
sorry,
weeks.
boys, had to work it in. Gold Coast Bulldogs. Gold Coast play really well up there. But Bulldogs are in pretty good form. Gold Coast, I'm not sure. They've been in a little bit shaky form. I'm going to go the upset for this one. I'm going to go Bulldogs.
I like it. Yeah, I'm going to go Suns. I'm just going to go home ground. Bulldogs fucking just have shown they've gone over expectations. They're playing so well. But I'm going to go Suns.
Yeah, I agree. Suns for me.
Yeah, this was going to be the flip of the coin as well, but I think Gold Coast just will win over only because it's over there. Only because it's over there.
Seba, what do you reckon?
Bontempelli, he'll have another career game. I'm saying the Dogs by 30 points, Dogs.
I'm telling you, I would not be surprised, man.
He's the best player in the league at the moment. What he did in that third quarter was fucked last week. So, Dogs.
Yeah,
Dogs
a lot of people going for the Dogs, man. A lot of people going for the Dogs.
Like it, mate.
Except for Okamoto, he reckons at the Gold Coast home ground in Darwin. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, I know.
All right. Next one is the showdown. Port Adelaide.
Mark. First time watching this show. They need to let you speak, mate. Hey, Liam's a big boy. He can jump in whenever he wants, mate. Like, I don't stop him from talking, man. I think he just loves listening to us.
I do a bit, yeah. You guys say some interesting stuff, to be honest. But
all right, this is the big, what is it? What they call it?
This is the showdown. The showdown. It's a good matchup normally. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Adelaide more from Port this year, so I'm going to tip Adelaide.
I'm going to go Port. They'll come back, hit hard.
No crows for me.
The horny man will kill it.
The horn dogger.
The horn dog.
Crows for me.
Crows, Adelaide, yeah.
Yeah, Adelaide for me, just another tricky game, but Adelaide just for me.
The Port Hour will win this game easily.
They've got a tendency to come back after big losses. They're funny.
They've done it for years. They've done it for years on end.
All right, and the last three.
Oh, the biggest game of the round.
I love this. I can't wait to watch this game.
It is the biggest game of the round, mate. You guys get excited, mate, and I'm excited because it's going to be win number 3 for Richmond. So, yeah, get around it.
Tigers for me.
I'm picking Tigers too, mate. I'm going all the way with the Tigers. Mark?
Oh, Liam, mate. If Richmond don't win this week, mate, bottom of the ladder for you guys this year, mate. So Richmond has to win. Richmond for me.
Even if we lose, West Coast is still bottom. They only won 1 game.
Yeah, well, they'll win 2 now. They might.
I don't think West Coast have won a game.
Yeah, no, West Coast haven't won a game, and we've won 2.
Yeah, well,
simple maps.
And
just because you struggled to beat them.
Round 8, mate. It's round 8.
Right. Are you tipping West Coast then?
No, I'm tipping Richmond. I'm just saying if you don't beat
back up your talk,
then you're in trouble.
Put your balls on the line, Mark. Go West Coast.
What's your tip?
I'm just about to, but I said Richmond. If you don't win,
he's got Richmond. He's talking shit because if he had balls, he would have picked West Coast, but he knows. Next one. This is going to be a good game, man.
It should be a good game. Geelong and the Giants down in Geelong, so it always gives Geelong a bit of an edge. But I still don't think they're playing their best football. But the Giants haven't been playing their best either. If it was somewhere else, you'd tip Giants. But I think down in Geelong, you got to stick with Geelong.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Geelong for me.
Yeah, Geelong at home for me, guys.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and GWS have a good record over there, just quietly, but fuck, I reckon, mate, I loved what Dangerfield did last week. I had a hard on in that last quarter, man. That bloke there, how tough was he, mate?
He was running through people left, right, and center.
You saw, you know this old thing that's been on social media, 100 men or 1 gorilla. Fucking hell, 100 Dangerfields or 1 gorilla. I'm going 100 Dangerfields, mate. The cunt will bloody go right through them, mate. I'm telling you,
100%. But
the bloke was, mate. He was. That could be one of the best captain's quarters I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that was great. He was everywhere.
I loved it.
Honestly, I hope the gorilla crushes all 100 Dangerfields. Do not like him. I hate Dangerfield, man. Never liked him, man.
I think the Giants will respond. I think the Giants respond here. They need to win. They have to win. So Giants.
All right, I like it. Oh, and this one here. I wonder if I wonder how much Brisbane. They should only win by about 1 or 2 points because
just cop strays.
Yeah, I think we're all tipping Brisbane in this one. Unfortunately for North.
Yeah,
yeah,
Mark
Brisbane.
saw it first hand this week. You should be going north, mate. You said how good they were.
You know what? There's always upsets, mate, every week, mate. I'm telling you, all right now, I'm just about to go on, but I think Brisbane just.
Wait.
Just,
Oh God.
Who's winning in the tips?
I'll show you in a
That
sec.
would be me.
not
I'll be smashing you, man. Don't worry, Manny. I'm smashing you now, mate. Don't worry, mate. Don't get too cocky, Manny.
You're smashing me.
Oh, yeah, I'll be close to it.
He is smashing it. That's crazy.
We all got
Long way
five.
off.
We all
I've
got
got no
five.
knowledge about football. I've got no knowledge. I've got the facts.
You know, like footy tipping. And tell me something about footy tipping. When does like someone who's got the most knowledge win it? It rarely happens. It's always that dumbass that wins it. You know, who
No.
it is, man. It's a dumbass who, you know, when you go to the races and they pick the 100 to 1 winner,
121 to 1, you go to the trots.
Yeah, and you like the colours.
The colours.
You don't know Rocco.
I'm not even
he-
just in front, mate. Like Manny was even with me, so I just smashed him like 3. Come on, boys. That's
Rocco, you know what it's like?
not even a
It's
challenge,
like-
mate.
It's the bloke at the local tab who's betting on fucking trackside, the virtual dogs.
Yeah, the virtual dogs, the computer dogs.
Yeah, fucking trackside, the sickos. They smell like BO and cigarettes, and they're punching out 50s and 10s in the machine, in the tab machine on trackside. That's who
No,
wins
that's
it.
why he's winning, but that's
Oh.
all right. The week before, 8 things
Hey,
happened.
do changes.
The week before, I got 8, Mark got 4. This week, he gets 8, I get 4, man. Tipping, but that's all right. Long season, you know, like, you know,
It is.
the way Mark says it, I'd rather be down by 8 than be down by 1 because there's plenty to go. And I've learned a big lesson this week.
I might start resting some of my tips. Start like going.
Oh, here we go. Right.
Can't do that.
Yes, I can. I can play the game too, like you guys are doing. I'll just start going against, you know, I should have gone North Melbourne. You know, I've got plenty of room to play.
Listen, it's going to be an interesting fucking actually week of footy, man. It's there's a lot of big games here. It's gonna determine a lot of things, man. Yeah. I think the 8's almost settled, to tell you the truth.
Early in the season, mate. I don't know why we all predict this now, mate. What's the point? Why don't we just have a separate ladder then? You know,
Because you know they're year by year. I mean, at the end of the day, by the end of the day, when you look at it, I mean, coming in and out, maybe 1 or 2 sides there, but I can't see any of these top 8s coming out, to tell you the truth.
well then rest of the teams will just play for draft picks or
I
you
think
know, they'll start tinting.
I think we've found the teams that are dropping out of the 8, to be completely honest with you. Being us, Sydney, and probably Port.
From last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've
Yeah, I
found
know,
the
but
teams.
we're already
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I'm saying, yeah, that's
know
what I
what you
mean. I think by now it's almost. I think maybe Fremantle because they got some home games, but that's about it. I can't see no one else making the 8. I can't see. To tell you the truth, you can say what you want about us. I reckon we'll get to about 8 or 9 wins if we're lucky.
Yeah, I don't even reckon we'll square I don't even reckon we'll square up our leisure this year. Personally.
Well, if we win 8 or 9, no, we won't square it up.
No, but
We
I'm
won't
saying like
square it up.
I'm saying in terms of like us winning the next couple games.
Have
Fuck me,
faith,
dude.
boys. Have faith. Have
What
faith.
faith there? I've got the
Shut up with
answers.
this faith. What's wrong with you with this word faith? I haven't got faith in nothing, mate. What have you got faith in? What have you got faith
Mark
Well,
is a
he
George
was-
Michael fan. He's a George Michael fan.
Look, Michael, you gotta have faith.
Yeah.
Look, come on, boys, mate. You win the next 2 or 3 games, all of a sudden, you know, you like I said, you got the list there. You know, every
it's
week, you boys are
4 weeks at a time.
smashing
4
everyone.
weeks at a time.
just take it 4 weeks at a time, like you're saying, Rocco. Take it in bunches.
I'll take it. I'll take the next 3, and I actually think we might win 2 out of our next 4. But does that make
Normally what happens every year? You're going to have your top 8. You're going to have 2 or 3 of them miss out. You're going to have 2 or 3 of the bottom 8 or 10, whatever.
But that's what's happened, and that's why I don't reckon it'll change from now on.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but well, have faith, man. You just don't know, Rocco.
I haven't got faith. What is wrong with you? I've got no faith in anything.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see at least mid-round.
What is faith? I want you now to write. Give me what is your description of faith? Answer it.
No, I'll have to go to the excitement.
Well, do whatever you want. Go into the dictionary. Do whatever you want, but tell me what faith is.
Faith, because the faith keeps you just hoping, and it keeps you forward. It keeps you
I don't
moving.
live my life in lies. I try to believe as many truths as possible.
I don't want to be
I don't believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in I'll just pretend. I want to see evidence. I'm an evidence-based person.
Do you believe in the Easter Bunny, Rocco?
Only during Easter when I get my eggs.
Oh, God. Anyway, lads, I'm off. Thank you again for tonight. I hope all your shit teams lose. And
mine didn't.
I'll see you.
Go
see you
the
Friday.
Arsenal. Go the fucking Arsenal.
That's tonight. The big one.
Viva la France! Viva la France! Viva la
I've got to be up in
France!
6 hours. I'm going to watch it at a pub in the city with Mars.
Viva la France! Viva la
Oh,
France!
yeah. You
Viva la
come tonight,
France.
are you?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Mars up at 4 a.m.
Where you going, the
People-
Imperial?
Nah, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm. Nah, I don't think it's the Imperial. But yeah. And Liam, your mate Mark said get down to the Sporting Globe with him. Don't be a crumb. Get down there with him.
Get down to the Sporting Globe. We will see, mate. We will see.
Anyway,
Get
lads.
down on it.
See you,
Get
mate.
down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it.
That's been good. Now, just a quick question. Great show coming Wednesday. Wait a sec. I saw something here that I want to hear. Rocco, can we have these officially uploaded to Spotify as a podcast post show? Can we?
What's that?
It's
Can
your
we?
decision. I don't mind.
Wow. Let me just tell you something, right? The shows are on Spotify. They've been on there for all year. So you can go to Spotify and you can listen to it. You can listen to it in your car. But this week, they are also, get ready, guys. All our shows are going to be video format on Spotify from now on.
Boom.
What?
So if you go in there, you'll see the
I'm
Jumper
watching
Punch
this one,
and Blue Sunday is already in video format, and Fourever Rivals will be also video format from tomorrow or the next day whenever we get it up there. But yes, and from now on, Fourever Rivals, all Jumper Punch shows are video format on Spotify. We are everywhere, guys.
Wow.
Do we just follow?
Hey,
So I've just jumped onto Spotify now. And I've
Yeah, but
searched
it's
Punch.
4.2 stars. That's not good enough. We should be more than that.
well, we just got on there, so we should give everyone should be giving us stars, man. Everyone should be giving us stars when you get on there and you help us out, yeah.
And don't forget, Liam, we already have 1 star on the show, and that's Mark.
Manny, you're going to be on Spotify. How do you feel? You're like a star
Yeah.
now.
I feel like a
Excited.
twinkle, little star.
Yeah,
I'm
so
excited,
you can
bro.
catch us. First of all, guys, everyone, like, share, subscribe, and especially subscribe, man, and especially share the show so we get out there if you like what we're doing. And if you don't like what we're doing, get stuffed. Also, you watch all our shows, but now, as I said, we have been on Spotify, so you can get us on. You could always get us on Spotify for the last 2 years. Yeah, we've got all the legends of the Jumper Punch interviews on there. So if you want to listen to an interview from Sticks Gurnham or David Park and all the Carlton greats, we've got 50 on there. So you can always listen to them. But now, as I said, from this point onwards, they are video format on Spotify. We just keep moving forward, mate. We just keep moving forward. So that was great.
What's going on there?
Yeah, that's true.
That's big, man. That's big.
True. 4.2 stars is more than most of you guys have wins. I think you're right there too.
I like that.
Yeah. So so that's it. And after that, also get your tickets for the Sydney Carlton Sporting Glow catch up. They're in there. They're for free. It's just so we get numbers and we know, because there's finger foods, we get soft drinks, finger foods for everyone. So we need to organise that. So make sure you get your tickets. But that's always good. It's going to be a Friday night there, so it should be a good atmosphere. Great food there. I have to admit, everyone that goes there, the food's great. The ribs, mate, the steaks are fantastic. So make sure you do that. Thanks to the Sporting Globe. That's it, guys.
Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Oh, is it? Is a Mother's Day this week?
Yeah, this Sunday.
I haven't got a mother anymore, so I don't care.
Well, I don't have a mother, but I have a mother-in-law, and I wish happy Mother's Day.
All the mothers out there, of course, man. Of course, man, and all the mothers that are, I suppose, in heaven, you know, and all the wives out there do a great job. And yeah, so it is. I actually forgot, but it is Mother's Day. Yeah, so it's going to be the big Mother's Day this weekend. So happy to all the mothers. We love the mothers. And what else? Have we got anything else, guys?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. It's closed.
All right, guys. Thanks everyone for joining. I really look. I know I joke around a lot and that, but I really do hope that your teams suffer a fucking miserable loss and you all fucking cry. All right. Thank you very much. Go Blues.
Go the Bombers.